What's good, everybody? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com. What is going on? Struggle streaming already, guys. Let me get everything set up for you guys. What is going on? Back once again. I know a lot of you guys, a lot of the people that watch the show on the regular are like, what is he doing? He's back again. He's back again. Oh, yeah, guys. I told you I'd be getting into it a little more often in 2024. I think this is the third live stream this week. But as we get into the chat, guys, as we get into the live stream, please drop a 1 in the chat. Want to make sure you guys can hear me okay and see me okay. And I see we have a few people already checking in. CT says, what's going on? Is he going to be late?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. I'm not going to be late. I'm on time today, guys. So, yeah, we're going to get into it. You know, this is kind of a topic that has been tossed around quite often, but you know how we do here. We kind of change things up a little bit and try to approach things from a different angle and get in here and share thoughts, ideas, suggestions. And sometimes, you know, we may learn a little something. We may kind of start off thinking one way and we hear some thoughts and opinions from somebody and we're like, okay, that makes sense. So, you know, we may start to kind of meet in the middle or not. You just never know. Some people are kind of stuck in their ways and they're going to think one way or the other way. But what we do here is get together each week. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, guys, is when we have the main show. Throughout the week, sometimes I do drop in and do pop-up live streams like we're having tonight. So generally, we'll probably do we always will do the one live stream. Sometimes, you know, I'll pop up and do another one, generally on a maybe Wednesday or Friday. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way it will notify you whenever we do the pop-up live streams. All right, so what do we have on the agenda for this evening? The Livescope controversy. So we're going to get into that just a little bit. And like I said, we're going to approach it from a different perspective. There's some things that have kind of come to light as far as, you know, the progression of it and where it's going to go to. And I know there's a lot of people that are familiar with our partner, Randy Blockett. Oh, yeah, let's give a quick hand clap for Randy Blockett, you know, for keeping this out in the forefront. Just gives us a little something else to talk about, you know, as we prepare to get into the 2024 season. And, you know, just taking a look at it, what are we expecting to see out there? So one thing that has been tossed around is, how far is this going to go? What can we expect? And one of the things that has been kind of brought up is, how many transducers are people going to have on the screen? How big are these screens going to be? What are we going to see whenever we start watching these tournaments this year? How many transducers are going to be on the boat? How many screens are they going to have? I mean, is it going to be a transducer in the front, the back, the side, all of that kind of stuff? So at some point, do you guys think that there should be some type of limit? Of course, whenever we're talking about fun fishing where we get out there on our own, I mean, if you want to put 10 screens on your boat and 6 or 7 transducers, hey, have at it. But at the competition level, what do you guys think? So that's kind of what we're going to touch on tonight, guys. And I do have a special guest that will be coming up. So make sure you guys stay tuned for the question answer session. And for anybody that is just tuning in, new to the show, what we do each week is I will pull up a few clips. We'll review those clips, and I always get active in the chat. So make sure you get in the chat, network with people. You never know who is in the same area that you're in, fishing the same lake, same tournaments, things like that. So you may meet your next fishing buddy. And the other thing that I do is I will drop the link. And what that will do is bring you up on the screen so that you can voice your thoughts, opinions, suggestions, things like that. We'll chop it up a little bit, then I'll drop you down and bring up the next person. But what I was saying just a second ago is we do have a special guest that I will be bringing up, kind of a professional in the industry, guys. So you can pick his brain on his thoughts and ideas and the things that he has actually seen in the industry and out there on the water. So that is Jimbo on Lanier, guys. That's who we will be bringing up shortly. But before we get into that, let's just hop into the chat real quick because I do want to see who is here. Oh, one other thing, cannot forget this, guys. Let me give a big shout out to the sponsor of the last live stream. Want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of the last live stream, which was Bass Life. Whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker during the live stream is the sponsor of the live stream, guys. So really, really want to give a big shout out and appreciation to Bass Life. All right. And one other thing before we hop into it, guys, this is a live stream. Oh yeah, we are live. So I'm able to interact with you guys in the chat, live and in action. I know a lot of you come back and you watch the replays. The replays are not going to be quite as interactive, but you know, you still get the feel of the show and everything. So you can still have a lot of fun with it. But if you can, always make sure you catch the live streams and get active in the chat. That is a big part of the show because the chat in itself is I would say like 30 to 40% of the show. It's like it's whole other thing going in there. There's guys debating, you know, having some healthy conversations in the chat. So have some fun with that, guys. All right. So the other thing, there is a chat that not a chat, a poll. I do drop several polls throughout the show because this is an interactive show, guys. I'd like to keep mentioning that because I want you guys to get in here, get active in the chat, get active on the polls. So the poll that I have dropped, first of all, is just to gauge the room of the people that we have watching the live stream. You know, just kind of lets us know where everybody's mind is at. Are you for forward facing sonar? Are you against it? Do you tournament fish? Do you not tournament fish? You just fun fish? So we'll just drop a lot of polls like that just for fun and just to kind of gauge the room also. All right, so the very first poll that is already up before we get into this is, are you for or against Livescope? And I'm just saying Livescope, but of course we know it's forward facing sonar. So whether you're running Garmin Livescope, Humminbird Mega Live, that is what I run, or you're running Lowrance Active Target, all pretty much the same, guys. So yeah, so that is the poll. Are you for or against Livescope? And that is going to kind of gauge the room as we continue in the conversation, because for me, I kind of like having, you know, hearing a little bit of balance from both sides of, you know, what people are thinking whenever we're talking about any of these topics. So right now we're sitting at 75%, guys. Got 75% are saying, hey, I like forward facing sonar, so I'm good with it. And then we have 27% that are saying, no, partner, I'm not down with that forward facing sonar. We can live without it. So that's where we are pretty much sitting at, guys. So if you haven't got active on the poll, make sure you go ahead and do that. I'll come back to that in just a minute. And what we'll do, guys, is go ahead and hop right into the show. And I will come back to the chat just shortly. So what brought this about for this topic is a lot of my subscribers, you guys will reach out to me on Instagram. You'll send me messages in the chat and just kind of tell me things that you are interested in talking about. So one of the messages that I received not too long ago was someone sending me another way of mounting your forward facing sonar. So we're going to get into that. And I have a few questions that I will be asking you guys as far as that goes too. And basically, what have you seen as far as where you think that where this will, you know, how it will look this year as far as the tournament industry goes? How many transducers do you think you're going to see on the boats? I mean, right now, I've seen up to 3, 2 on the front and 1 at the, hold on, let me go ahead and share this screen real quick. Just bear with me, guys. This is a live show, so every once in a while, I have to hop in here and do a little work. So just bear with me as I share my screen, and we will get right into what I am referring to. Because the kayak industry, you know, they were kind of a little ahead of the game. They were a little ahead of the game, but I think, you know, it's basically because of the layout of a kayak. So it's not like whenever they pull up to a spot, they're going to turn off the motor and run up to the front of the boat and start fishing. They're going to fish from right there at the seat. So let's take a look and see how do they mount those in the kayaks? How are you guys doing this over here on the kayak side of things? And this right here is from goodness, I can't remember the name of the site right off of the channel, but I always put links to the full videos if anybody wants to go back and watch those after the live stream. But let's just take a look and see how they are mounting these on kayaks that we're not really doing that on bass boats just yet.
I did modify it just a little bit, and I'll show you really quick what I did, and then I'll show you my mounting system. So when I got it in, when you order one of these, the handle is a little bit longer. This little piece right here, it's about 6 inches longer, and it's designed like that so you guys who want to put your transducer pole further away from your seat or your kayak set up a little bit different, you don't have to reach out as far to get it. But since I'm running mine right here beside my seat like this, I didn't want a long handle sticking off the back. So I was able to mount this up and cut the handle down just by pulling this little grip off and cutting about 6 inches off the back of that slid the grip back on it, and now I've got a nice, flawless, I mean, that is completely flawless pole mount for my transducer.
Wow. Wow. What do you guys think about that? So he has his mounted right there at the console. So he doesn't even need to get up, run to the front of the boat, drop a trolling motor to start scanning around. He can do it right there from his console. Kind of interesting, isn't it, guys? What do you think? What do you think about that? Kind of a nice concept. Is that something that you would like on your boat if you are for forward facing sonar? Of course, the guys that, do not like to begin with don't think it should be on there at all. But let me just go ahead and drop that down. But I just wanted to pull this up just to show by the layout of a kayak how they have theirs mounted. But of course, everybody knows that fishing from a bass boat, ours are generally located at the front of the boat. And I believe originally with the Mega 360, they did have a mount that you could actually put in the back of the boat that you could automatically deploy from the console, and that was with the Mega 360. But right now, I haven't really seen anything like that for the for live imaging, for forward facing sonar. All right, so bear with me. Like I said, this is a live show, guys. So let me just drop that down. I just wanted to kind of get into it right off the bat and just give you a preliminary look at what we're going to be getting into. All right, so just bear with me. I have to pull up this next clip. All right, hold on one second, guys. All right, so this is pretty much going to be the meat of the of the show, of what we're going to be talking about. All right, so let me just bring this up again. This is a live show, guys, so just bear with me. Let's see, pull that up. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. All right, and I want to give a shout out to my partner, Cal Welcher. Shout out to Cal Welcher. So this is where this link is coming from. So this is a video that he did not too long ago, where he is showing some of the things that we can kind of look forward to, that the pros are going to be getting into for this tournament season. And I'm pretty sure there are already some of your local anglers that are out there that have already been getting into this. But let me just go ahead and hop into the chat real quick. And what I'll do is hop through the chat messages. If we start moving too fast, guys, what I always remind you of is it is easy for me to look through and see the members of the money team. So big shout out to the members of the money team. Those are the guys that you see that have the badge right next to their name, the members of the channel. And if you are interested in supporting the channel and becoming a member of the money team, just click the join button down below. And it will just give you a little information about the perks of becoming a member of the money team. And one of which you will have that badge next to your name. So as I'm going through the chat, it makes it easier for those to stand out, and I can pull up your messages a lot faster, especially if the chat starts moving too fast, guys. All right, so let's just hop in here real quick and see who we have tuning in for this evening. And I see you guys are, you have some jokes in here thinking I was going to be late. All right, let's see. Shout out to, we have Black USC 1. He says, did you end up catching anything? Oh, yeah, partner. Oh, yeah, I caught a little something. And what he is referring to, guys, is I do a weekly on the water live. The same way you see me here in the studio, I run a live where I'm actually out on the water. And I'll go out there, show you guys the baits that I'm using. And sometimes I'll do a split screen with my electronics if I'm going to be fishing offshore. If not, I'm going to be fishing shallow. I set up a screen to where you can actually see the full view of what I'm doing and everything. But I was out there the other day just getting started. I was out there for maybe like 2 hours or so, 2 or 3 hours, something like that. So for the first, I'd say hour and a half, I was scouting around, running around with the crankbait. Wasn't really getting any action. So that's what he's asking about. But yeah, so I did end up pulling a little something to the boat, and I uploaded to the members only section. So the members of the money team, you're able to go into the members only section. And I went over some details as far as the bait that I was using, showed you what I did end up catching for that day. So yeah, you guys make sure you go and check that out. So big shout out to Black USC. Really appreciate you for tuning in. All right, so who else do we have checking in? Shout out to Barkin' Rugers.
Yes, sir.
Always in here causing a few problems. All right, shout out to Barkin' Rugers, a member of the money team. And we have CT. He says you were 1 minute late. Come on, man. You got to give me some credit. Just 1 minute. I mean, I think it was about 45 seconds late. It wasn't a full minute. All right, who else do we have? We have Joe Carpenter. He says, I have Mega Live and I like it, but it shouldn't be allowed in tournaments. All right, so there we go. We're getting started already, guys. We're moving kind of quick. Yeah, and I see you guys are getting active in networking in the chat. So good deal with that. All right, let's see who is this right here. All right, so we have the real Ozark Angler checking in. He says, "Smells like money in here. Love the channel." All right, really appreciate that. Really appreciate you tuning in. All right, let's see who else we have checking in, guys. All right, shout out to Doug Stouts, another member of the Money Team. All right, so we're gonna get into it, guys. And like I said, make sure you get in here. I mean, you guys can have your own private conversations and all that good stuff, and I'll be in and out of the chat throughout the show. But we're gonna kind of move kind of fast with this one, go through a few clips, and then I'll bring up the guest, and then I will bring you guys up if you want to come up and ask questions or anything like that. If I don't catch your question in the chat. All right, then shout out to Joe Winkler. What is going on? Very big, strong supporter of the channel. He says, "I just got in, MoneyBass." Okay, all right. So yeah, you didn't really miss too much of anything. We're just getting rolling. All right, then we have Living Missouri's Outdoors checking in. Says, "I see it becoming a visual representation to even enable species across with the Livescope cam." Okay, yeah. So you never know where it's gonna head to. That's been the topic of a few conversations too. All right, let's see who else do we have. Dodie Fishing says, "I got rained out today. I'm such a sissy." Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, it was kind of cold. It was kind of cold. So yeah, that cold and rain, it doesn't mix too well together. All right, let's see. What do we have? What do we have? What else do we have in here, guys? All right, shout out to Darren Pearson. He says, "Well, I hope you get to feeling better." Okay, so yeah, you guys are in here mixing it up, talking a little bit. All right, so I'm just scanning through here real quick, guys. I always want to give credit where credit is due for the people that are actively in the chat and show it for the lives just to see who we have checking in. So that is another part of the show, guys. And that is why I always mention that if you get the chance to catch us live, make sure you catch us live, because it is a completely different experience when you can get in here and actually read and see some of the comments. Sometimes it gets a little crazy. On the last one, we had what was it? Wicked Reels. We had Wicked Reels in here saying he sold his soul. Oh my goodness. He said he sold his soul for his sponsors or something like that. So yeah, we have a good time with it, guys. All right, then let's see who else we have. We have Living Missouri Outdoor says, "I heard 5 on a boat last year in Bass Elites." Wow, so they were already up to 5 transducers on one boat. Can't remember which angler, but they were from Japan. All right, shout out to that. Already getting moving with things. All right, so shout out to Dave Rosenberg. What is going on, man? Really glad to see you in the chat. He says, "Thanks, I'm doing good now." Yeah, really appreciate it, and really good to see you out here in the chat. Hope you are doing well, man. I'll definitely have to reach out to you, see how things are going for you. All right, really appreciate you. All right, so Barkin Ruger says, "That's good to hear, partner. Now you won't have any excuses to come chase them." What are you? What is so Barkin Rugers? He gets in here and causes some problems every now and then. Let me see what else we have going on in here, guys. All right, so I'm almost caught up in the chat. I'm just going through here real quick. I just like to, especially if I see a new name in here, I'll try to make sure I pull you up. So we have Tony Duran checking in. He says, "Let me know when the shout outs are done. I'll come back for the meat of the show." Okay, so we'll be getting into the meat of the show in about 2 minutes. How about that? All right, so let's see. Good. Rory Johnson says, "Good evening. Looking forward to another great session tonight." Oh yeah, we're gonna get into it and have some fun. And shout out to Edward Cohen back once again. All right, guys. So let me just zoom through here real quick and see. All right, yeah. So I'm pretty much caught up. DP says, okay, so you guys are in here just networking with each other. Dodie Fishing says, "I'm running Mega Live in landscape mode and a live scope in forward. Works well." All right, so he is already out there making it happen. So if anybody wants to know how to set that up, go ahead and hit up Dodie Fishing. He might have some information that'll help you out. All right, then we have Perfect Level Adventure says, "I hit the river and got a few smallmouth." All right, good deal. And definitely come and, use this for a brag board, guys, and let us know what you're doing out there on the water. All right, Jay Hayes says, "I love forward-facing sonar. I think we need more time and data before we know if it's harmful or not." Yeah, so that is pretty much the sentiment that has been going around. All right, then we have Bobby Dunlow says, "North Carolina likes your show." All right, big shout out to that. Really appreciate that. All right, and let's see. All right, and one more, guys. We have Bobby says, let me see, what is that? Channel River. We are now looking forward to having the pros here for the first time. All right, good deal. All right, and Rick says, "Money, new contest, the biggest whiner of what is that? Of live each week will win a box of Kleenex." All right. So let me just go ahead and pull this up, guys. This is the next clip that we're going to review, And like I said, this is the meat of the show. We're going to get into what can we expect for this upcoming season, guys. I think things are changing. So some of the guys that may have been thinking one way, some of the from what I'm hearing, some of the things you may see may kind of start to change your mind. All right, so let's once again, big shout out to Kyle Welcher, angler of the year. I mean, I knew him from YouTube. We used to bump into each other every now and then on our small local lakes. So I just wanted to play a few clips from him where he kind of talks about, you know, just a new addition, a new way that people will be running their live imaging. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at it, guys. All right, here we go.
This is obviously the active target. And what I do with it is, it's like right there, there's some fish. Got it right here on this Sniper Marine. I guess you'd call this a turret. I don't know, sniper pole, what it is. It's got a little arrow right there, so you can see where I'm going to. So I'm gonna turn my, haven't used it here in a while, so I'm actually going to turn my contrast up a little bit. And boom. Now, going to idle. And look.
All right, and so real quick, guys, what he is doing, he is at his console. He actually has a live transducer. He's running Lowrance right there at his console, and he is able to scan while he is actually at the console and not at the front of the boat. So it's saving him some time. Let's see what else he has to say.
I know what I'm looking for.
He's seeing plenty of bait fish.
So you can kind of see what makes that special is you can kind of get through an area without having to stand up and troll around. Now, this area that we're in right now is an area that's had a lot of stripes in it. Not a ton of bass, but a ton of stripes. And I've seen some schools of crappie also, and it's very, very powerful for the crappie because the crappie, they'll just suspend out in the absolute middle of nowhere. And then you just kind of find them, drop your trolling motor, get on top of them, and drop down to them. So it makes it where you can find them very, very easily and efficiently. So the thing's pretty powerful. We're going to troll back out here. I think I saw a school of stripes underneath the bait up here. So we're going to look for those again and probably drop on one or two.
Man, so what do you guys think about that so far? So he is able to do that, like he said, at his console, saves a lot of time. And it kind of reminds me doing it this way of whenever we first got access to sonar and then side scan. So that was kind of a big thing at that time, to be able to use your side imaging, to be able to run down the center of a cove and see everything to the left and right of that cove, see whether it's going to be active or not. Do what you need to do, take off and head to the next spot. So right here, it's pretty much a time saver as far as being able to do the same thing. So if you're looking on that screen now, you can see he's coming up and seeing a lot of bait fish. Let me just go ahead and see what else he's saying right here.
That might have been them right there. There's 3 or 4 stripe right there on the screen. All right, I just fish right here for a second and get me a bait to drop on them.
All right, so now he's pretty much used his live imaging from the console and found bait fish, find the fish that he wants to target. Looks like on this video he was targeting stripers, but he's able to see those predator fish, where the target fish that he's looking for, hop up to the front of the boat, drop that trolling motor where he has his Garmin set up at. He's running Lowrance at the console, excuse me, and then he's running his Livescope at the front of the boat. So now he's about to get up there and get busy from the front. All right, so now let's take a look at one more part in here. Just want to let him go ahead and summarize his his thoughts on this. And I will go back. Actually, I see a few more people have joined in. Let me just go back real quick and just show you the setup that he has at the boat, at the console itself. Just bear with me real quick, guys. I see a few more people have tuned in. So I just wanted you guys to kind of see exactly what we're talking about right here. So he has that turret right there at the console.
I don't know, sniper pole, what it is. It's got a little arrow right there, so you can see where I'm going to. So I'm gonna turn my, haven't used it here in a while, so I'm actually going to turn my contrast up a little bit.
All right, so there we go, guys. So if anybody's just tuning in, that's pretty much what we're talking about, is having multiple transducers, live imaging transducers on the front of the boat, at the console, and where else do you think that we would be able to put these live imaging transducers? So it does kind of, it's reminiscent of first being able to use your side imaging right from the console and being able to locate that cover and structure. And if you were good enough, you could actually use that side imaging to locate fish. All right, so right now I'm just going to play, his summary of what he thinks about the experience of using this technology is. Just bear with me, guys. Let me just get it. Okay, here we go. Just need to cue that up. All right, so let's take a listen and see what his summary of using this technology is.
That's it. Simple as that. All right, guys, so you can kind of see the power of that and kind of how it helps you whenever you're just idling and looking. You have to get up and troll back and forth and run your trolling motor batteries dead and all that type of stuff, which I don't have that problem anymore. And I kind of go back and forth if I just want to troll around and look, or if I want to idle and find them. But it seems like whenever you get to a new lake and you're not sure where kind of the bait is and the fish are, you can kind of just stop, idle for a long period of time and kind of figure out exactly where they are in the stage. So pretty cool piece of equipment. It's got some benefits and then it slows you down at times, but just kind of want to show you all that. That's from Sniper Marine. It's called a sniper pole. That's the best one that I have found, and that's the one that I've used the most, is definitely the sniper pole. So pretty cool. Seen some other pros use it, and I've seen some people actually catch them sitting at the console, throwing to them using that. So that's pretty awesome. But I haven't done that quite yet, because every time I see them, I jump up and I go to my front one because I have more options of rods and all that type of stuff. But definitely could sit right here and cast to them and catch them. So pretty interesting. But appreciate you guys watching that. Let me know, is that unfair to the fish? Does it help a lot? Does it not help a lot? What do y'all think? We'll see y'all.
All right, so shout out to Kyle Welcher, guys. Let me go ahead and stop that right there. All right, so shout out to Kyle Welcher. So that is, like I said, I will put the links to these full videos down in the chat. Down in the description. I always make sure you guys take a look at the description of the videos. Anytime I have some information that I think could help you guys out or that you'll find valuable, I do drop that down in the description area, guys. All right, so yeah, continue to get active in the chat. But what we're gonna do, guys, is go ahead and keep moving. I did tell you that we have a special guest that I will be bringing up and kind of get their perspective. This is a professional in the industry. I'll let them, give a little bit of their background and everything. So let's go ahead and get into it. Without further ado, who do we have? What is going on? We have Jimbo on Lanier, guys. He is a guide, big time guide, one of the top guys out here at Lake Lanier. With, I think he has some insightful information and perspectives on this topic. And then we'll actually get into another thing that he has coming up. And actually, let's go ahead and start off with that. Just, introduce yourself and just tell people real quick about the seminar, and then let's hop straight into this Livescope forward-facing information. So what's going on? What's going on, Jimbo? How are you doing this evening?
Man, I feel like I've finally made it. I'm on the MoneyBass show. It's like I have worked so hard. I've begged Ryan to have me on, and man, it's just a pleasure to be here. I'm just kidding. Pleasure to be here. Money, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, really appreciate you.
It is an honor to be here. I've definitely been following you for a long time, and obviously you're doing some great work in the fishing industry, and be able to share this information and do what you do is a big part of keeping this community together and keeping them informed. So great job on that. Great job with the show, man. So My name's Jimbo. Ran a guide service out on Lake Lanier for 14 years.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been quite a career. I started, a corporate career for 20 years and then bagged that and said, you know what, I'm going to go fish for a living. So I've been guiding on Lanier for 14 years. Used to do some tournament fishing. I've kind of gotten out of the tournament fishing because I do a weekly video fishing report, and I don't want anybody thinking that I'm holding back any information, man. I want to give everybody the full scoop of what I'm doing, what's going on, where we're catching them, all that kind of stuff. So I really want to stay true to that. And I think that's an important model in my business and for personally how I run my business. So, but you mentioned the show. I'm just going to talk about that really quick. We've got coming up at the Forsyth County Conference Center next Saturday, January 13th. It's my annual expo. We've got lots of cool tackle vendors, some new ones this year, and some of the old favorites as well, including Jimmy from Lanier Baits. Jimmy Harmon is going to be there, and he's got a brand new bait that he's going to be displaying, talking about at the show. They've been working on this thing for over a year.
Wow. Okay.
They're going to introduce it to the market. It's surrounding some of the things that you're talking about. It's definitely a forward-facing, sonar-driven sort of bait, but it's pretty exciting. He was giving me the recap just before I joined the show. But so we're going to have some of our old standby vendors, the guys that are always there supporting, like Jimmy, and some brand new ones. Show opens at 10 a.m. on Saturday. Now, if you're a subscriber to my videos, you get in at 9:30. So if you're not a subscriber, get in half an hour earlier by joining and being a subscriber to those weekly video reports, and including the daily updates that I do. Also, did another daily update today, by the way, if any of my watchers are listening or watching tonight.
Gotcha.
But that's on there now. So check that out. And again, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get in at 9:30 if you're a subscriber. Get in early for those deals. And we're going to have classes in the afternoon. We've got 3 people speaking. I'm going to be doing a commentary on the mental side of fishing and how to manage your mental game. Trent Palmer is going to be joining us from Sonar Pros. And he's going to be talking everything forward-facing sonar. So rest assured, in addition to what we're going to talk about tonight, he's going to be there talking about exactly how to set these things up, how to utilize them, lots of great information. And then following him is Jimmy Harmon, who I just mentioned. He's going to be doing some deep water finesse bait discussions. And those classes start at 1 p.m. So we'll have them at 1, 2, and 3 p.m. in the afternoon. In the morning, it's going to be all the shopping. We're going to be having fun. We're going to have food out. We're going to have music playing. And here's the biggest thing, guys. We're going to have MoneyBass broadcasting live from the expo. And that, I just can't imagine anything better, baby. That's it.
Yeah, I will be there. I will be there. We'll be there making it happen,
Really excited to have that.
Look, and I'm going to have to do an intermission too, because I definitely want to come and see Sonar Pros and see what they have to talk about.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Trent's been installing these things for a long time, and Jimmy Harmon installs them too, so he's really good at it as well. So we got 2 people there that really know and understand the forward-facing sonar game and the electronics game. Josh Panyard from Humminbird is going to join Jimmy, and he's going to talk more about utilizing their state-of-the-art electronics and the newest and latest for what Humminbird is doing. So that's exciting as well.
Wow.
A lot of great information, a lot of great vendors, a lot of great tackle.
So you kind of snuck in a quick sentence. So you said the newest and latest. Do you know something that might be coming out or something like that?
Nothing,
I mean, I know if you do, you can't really.
Nothing that I'm obliged to say.
Guys.
But I get some, I get some heads up from now and again of things that might be coming around the corner. And, as we talked about earlier, MoneyBass, this thing continues to grow. We talk about forward-facing sonar. It's,
right.
That is an addition to the industry, 4 years ago that has revolutionized how we do it. It's changed everything. So it is, people are going to find ways, and these companies are going to find ways to make it better, more engaging, easier to use, easier to see the fish. Just a great way to help complement what we already do in the water it's just going to give you more weapons out there when you're trying to catch some fish.
Right. Yeah. And so your perspective comes from that of a guide, which we don't really hear from too often. Most of the time, it's going to be people that are out fishing tournaments, fun fishing, and
Sure.
things like that. So
Sure.
you pretty much run across people that are from the fun fishing side that just want to get
Yeah.
out there and have some fun with it. They may
Yep.
just want to learn how to use it. Then, of course, you know, you get those guys that are kind of quiet as kept. You know, they're on the tournament side, kind of sneaking in. You have to
Yeah.
blur out the face. You kind of blur out the faces.
Yeah, do the smiley face on them. You know, in fact, I had a gentleman out today that's prepping for a tournament, and you know, and I think the biggest thing is people don't want their buddies to know that they came out fishing with me, right? Which I get. I totally get it, and I respect it, because you know, if I came out with a guy in that situation, I don't know that I'd want it out. I'd want the credit for that. So I totally get that, and of course, we always respect that. If they don't want to be published, so to speak, and made famous on the Jimbo page, then you know, we're not going to do it. But you know, I love helping people.
Yeah. So real quick before we talk about the sonar thing. So I've always thought about that. But for me, when I think about someone getting a guide, a lot of people look at it like, oh, he's just going to learn how to catch fish or something like that. But I know you have people that come to you that may just want to learn a technique. Maybe they want to know how to go out and find fish on a sonar, see what that looks like, and learn how to drop shot or just learn certain specific techniques too. So it's not always about trying to get that upper edge for a tournament. Some people just want to learn how to offshore fish, or maybe it's someone that, hey, how do you locate rocks if you want to target, you know, rocky points, things like that. So it's, you know, it's kind of more to it than just going out and like, hey, let me get out here and find out how to catch these fish so I can beat everybody. Yeah,
that's right. No, it's, you know, my business has always been based on, you know, two main things. One, relationships. I always like to get and grow a relationship with each of my clients so that there's a long-term commitment on both our parts there to help their journey, to help them grow as anglers. And that's really what I'm focused on. The second thing is teaching. You know, that is what I do, is teach and to help people learn and understand, whether it's forward-facing sonar, a particular technique, as you mentioned, you know, how to handle fishing in a particular season. Those are all things that we address. Those are all things that my clients come to learn and understand. And of course, we have a great time while we're doing it. Who couldn't have a great time when you're on the water? You're fishing, for goodness sakes.
Right.
It's great. Even when it's cold, man, you got to dress up when it's cold, baby. You can't be going, no, we ain't going out because it's cold.
You can't call out my buddy like that. I don't know. Look, I don't know if he's in the chat or not, but if he hears you say it, he's gonna be like, "You told on me. You told that I said it was too cold to go fishing." All right, so
gotta go in the cold, man.
Yeah. So from your perspective, what are your thoughts on? And like I said, we generally don't hear from this side of things, from the guide side of things. What are your overall thoughts on, like, some people, like, I have this poll that says, "Are you for or against Livescope?" And I always like doing this, putting out a few polls so that we can gauge the room. Of course, this is not an indication of how people feel across the industry and all of that kind of stuff, but it's kind of a gauging of the room. And I kind of, you know, sometimes I have a balanced field, but tonight I have 75% that are for forward-facing sonar, and we have 25% that are like, no, we don't like it. So what have you seen from your side of things and your perspective on the use of forward-facing sonar?
Sure. You know, and that's a great question. It's certainly a hot topic in the industry right now. And I can see, you know, I can see both sides of it. I can understand the people that are, you know, saying, hey, let's go back to the way it was. And they're talking about starting tours that don't allow forward-facing sonar. So it's back to the old-fashioned way. But, you know, here's my opinion on it. This is just my opinion, is that I think it's a great tool. I think these things are going to continue to come out. We're going to see more and more stuff like forward-facing sonar, and they're going to keep improving it. All the different companies, you know, your Humminbird, Garmin, Lowrance, they're going to keep making this better because they want to sell more units and sell more software and sell, you know, do this stuff. And it helps us as anglers to target those fish specifically. Let's face it, we're targeting and catching fish that we could never target or catch before. We're making casts that we would never make before because we can see and understand how fish are behaving like we were not able to previously without forward-facing sonar. Forward-facing sonar provides you real-time, direct feedback, not only on where the fish are, but how they're responding and reacting to your bait. So you can make presentation adjustments on the moment, or it also helps with your efficiency. You can run from, you know, go to a place, scan it, maybe cast a lure out to see how the fish react to it. We were talking earlier. It's like, they'll throw a worm around a brush pile or a rocky point or whatever, and the fish runs from it. It's time to go, man. You're in the wrong place. That fish is not going to bite. You're not going to talk him into it. He's like, get out of here. So in general, yes, I am for forward-facing sonar. I think it's an incredible tool. And we live in the era of information and technology. Why not utilize that technology to help us do what we love to do better? And whether it's tournament fishing or fun fishing, it's a resource, it's a tool, and it's just another tool that can really make an impact if you learn how to use it and function with it properly and integrate it into your fishing. It makes a big difference in terms of how you approach your methodology, and then your results at the end of the day. That's the biggest thing. Your results will show much higher if you're utilizing forward-facing sonar correctly. That's bottom line, because you've got more information. You've got more information from which to make decisions, and that's critical.
Yeah, and so one of the things you mentioned as far as being able to target the fish that we weren't able to target before, and I've heard people say that before. Generally, people were pretty much stuck with the bank. There were some of us that still would go out with our side imaging and sonar and fish offshore, but obviously forward-facing sonar made it accessible to more people because it was a little, it was easier to understand. But when you hear someone say something, for instance, like the fish that are out offshore, are kind of out there, don't bother those fish, just stick to the fish shallow. Do you kind of understand that? Or because I'm just trying to understand, whenever they're saying that, like, what does that necessarily mean, or what do you think they could be referring to as?
State that for me again, MoneyBass. Sorry,
yeah,
man.
so with one of the things that people mention, like how you said you're able to go out and target fish offshore that you weren't able to see before, didn't know they were there.
Sure.
And people were like, say, leave those fish alone, stick to the ones that are more shallow and everything. Do you think that that's hurting anything by going after those fish offshore like that? Or
Sure, I got you. Yeah. So yeah, that's a great point. And it is, I think, the big reason that you see, particularly on Lanier and other lakes, the tournament weights going up to where they are. I mean, you can't bring in less than 23 pounds on a Lanier tournament of spotted bass and expect to win. You can bring in what would have won before a 19 or 20 pound sack, and you won't even get a check.
Right.
The reason is we're fishing for fish that we never knew were there, or we could not target. We maybe knew they were there. You get glimpses of them on 2D sonar or even the 3D structure scans type software, but you could never in real time chase and interact with those fish. So now, especially these young guns, man, there are some guys out there that are, in their, I'll call them 20 somethings that are grew up in that iPhone era. Man, they understand how to use technology, and they can interact with that technology, and it tracks in their brain, man. It's like they know what to do, what kind of cast to make, never lift in their head from that. So yeah, they can go out and target those fish that we could never target before. Do I think it's hurting them? No, I don't think it's hurting it. I think it explains why those tournament weights are going up, why the catch rates are going up. Mm-hmm. But I don't necessarily think it's hurting the fishing or the lake, so to speak, or the fishery. I just think that, now we've got an opportunity to fish in a way that we, could never do before. And again, it's made for greater catches, because on Lanier, the bigger fish, the biggest of the bigs typically are in or near deep water or over top of deep water. And especially in the wintertime, they're relating to the tops of those timber lines and, patches of timber that are around the lake in different places, both in ditches and off of the main lake. So there's fish out there roaming around that's what they do. They roam around, grab bait here and there. There might be just one, right? And a lot of these tournament guys are going out there and targeting those single fish that are roaming above. Picture a forest, that you're fishing a forest, but that's what you're over when you're in the water, and you're looking down at the stuff, and they can see those fish, and boom, they're like, going right down to them with some sort of Damiki style bait or, some kind of hover rig, something where they can interact directly with the fish while it's on the screen and swimming and catch that fish. So it's impressive to see. And no, I don't think it's hurting anything. I think if anything, it's just growing our sport in a method, in a way that it deserves. To put it bluntly, I think we deserve that. We deserve seeing what we can do and what we, we're always in the U.S. anywhere. We're trying to grow and be the best we can, right?
Mhm.
And this just allows us to be better.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of it, and there's some folks that have really mastered utilizing that, and those are the guys winning those tournaments, man.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Coming in with 21 pounds and getting 5th and 6th place, that'll hurt your feelings bad.
Yeah, you go home with a broken heart, man. Come to my buddy Scott Barnes. He brought 23.95 to the scale. I don't know, maybe a year ago, and got second place with 23.95. And he's like, "Are you kidding me? What is up with that, man?"
Right.
23, almost 24 pounds, and gets second. Really?
Wow.
That's nuts, man. It's just nuts. But it's fun to watch. It's exciting. You see what's capable, what's possible out there. And so we've missed all these fish, for all these years, and now we can target those fish specifically. And I think it's great for the sport. I think it's great for the lake and the presence of Lake Lanier specifically, and other lakes as well, obviously. But man, it's a big deal, and it's just helped us all grow as anglers and grow our ability to catch. And that's what it's about, man. Going out and having fun, and using the tools available to you to do that.
Right. And so with the amount of people that you have come in contact with, that come to you for your guide service, of course, there are some people that are going to want to fish the old school way, some people that are going to want to learn the sonar. So whenever you come across people that may not necessarily be embracing forward facing sonar, do you kind of hear from their side of things, like what their thought process is whenever they're like, no, we think we need to stay away from the electronic side of things, even though they may be there, like, I don't like it, but I'm here to learn it. So, what kind of things do you hear from that side of things?
Sure. So, there's definitely a group of individuals, typically the older generation that is, like I say, I call myself old, I'm 56. So, the older generation, the guys that have fished for 30, 40 years, bass fished, and they've done it a certain way, and they don't like to move. People don't like change, right? They don't like to have to, go through the mental struggles of adjusting, the pathways in your brain to be able to integrate this information into your fishing. It's not easy, right? It takes some time to figure out how to utilize it and start making decisions differently based on the information that you're getting from this unit. So, people are, the ones that are not for it, are, they're stuck in their way, stuck in their circumstance almost of, hey, I've done it for 40 years this way. I don't care what technology is out there. It's the same thing with guys that don't want to upgrade their phone to an iPhone, right? It's like, I still want to use the flip phone because that's what I know how to use.
Phone. Come on.
I'm going to use the flip phone, and I'm going to use a shaky head. I'm going to drag a Texas rig or whatever. And that's great. I mean,
right.
The people that do that, if they're not tournament fishermen, if they're just out having fun, you can fish any way you want. You can do it without forward-facing sonar, and maybe it's about just the experience of fishing, which is really the roots of it, right? It's not just about catching fish. For a lot of people, it's the experience. It's the being one with God, being one with nature out there on the water. It's a very relaxing and therapeutic sort of time, right? So those people that are not tournament fishermen, that just want to do it the way they've always done it and learn how to fish, we cater to those people as well. We don't have to use forward-facing sonar, but it certainly improves our ability to catch and improves the results. However, again, some people are just like, it's just not what I want out of fishing, and that's fine.
Right.
Everybody can have a different approach, a different feeling about it, and they're all trying to achieve perhaps something different, in terms of how, why they're doing this, why they're spending their time on the water. So I always try to tap into that right out of the gate. Hey, if anybody's out there that's been on a trip with me, that we start every trip with, all right, what are your goals today? What do you want to learn? What do you want to see? What do you want to experience? I want to make sure you come away with the experience that you're looking for. I'm in the experience business, right?
Exactly.
I provide experience, memory making, teaching, learning. That's what it's about, is going out and having a good time. So those guys that don't want to do it, fine, cool, no problem. I understand why, and that's okay. They've got that right. But if you're a tournament fisherman, if you're a tournament fishing and you're not using forward-facing sonar, you're fishing for 20th place and lower, period. I mean, just
my goodness,
absolutely no way you were going to go out against it's true, man. There's no way you're going to go be competitive in a competitive field of anglers, meaning an open tournament. It's not, I'm not talking club tournaments. Some clubs are, maybe some clubs have outlawed forward facing sonar. I don't know. There's a lot of clubs out there, obviously, that fish, club tournaments. And in those scenarios, it's not an open tournament. But if you're going to fish an open tournament, even, just one of like Scott Martin's tournaments on Lanier or a Hammond's tournament, or obviously the trails, any of those, if you're fishing those and you don't have forward facing sonar, you don't have a prayer of winning.
Oh my goodness. Don't hurt them. Don't tell them.
I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you what it is.
Say it ain't so.
Yeah.
Because that is one of the things that people say. That's like, hey man, I have to go ahead and get it if I want to compete, but there's some people that are still hanging on. And
that's okay.
For me, let me ask you this. So prior to forward facing sonar, those 20, 22, 23, 24 pound bags that we're seeing on Lake Lanier, we were still seeing weights like that before, right?
No, not up in that range. No.
Oh, okay.
It was like 20, 21 occasionally would win. But generally, if you brought 20 plus to the scales, you were going to get first or second in that 20 pound range. Wow. It's since forward facing sonar that has leveled up to where it is now, to where you've got to have 24. And that's the difference. It's like, instead of catching a sack of, 5 4-pound fish to get you 20, just as a round number, they're targeting and finding fish that are near the 5-pound category, right? And catch 2 or 3 of those in an event. And that, along with, some foreign changers, gives you 23, 24 pounds. So they're finding and targeting those bigger fish that, again, on Lanier are often timber related. You're not going to find them in easy locations to access. And I see the comment up there. Yeah, absolutely. It's not going to make them bite. You can't make them bite, but you at least now improve your odds because you're presenting to fish with every cast targeted specific presentations to a fish that you're fishing for a fish. And trust me, your odds go way up when you start fishing around fish. It's amazing. Your odds of catching one go way up when you're actually presenting a lure to fish that are there. And that's what you don't get without forward-facing sonar.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that comment, that is one of the main things that you hear people say. And so, like you said, your thing is the experience for your customer. So even though obviously you're going to use your electronics because you do want to have everything available to make the most of that day for your clients. But whenever you hear, like, one of the things that people seem to think is that if once you have this on your boat, it's a done deal. You're going to be out there just killing them, like catching them like it's nothing. So from your experience, whenever you get someone on your boat that is not familiar with that technology and using it, what kind of, I would say, like, learning curve? Obviously, for a day or two trip, you're not going to see them go from not knowing how to use it at all to being an expert with it. But what kind of learning curve do you think there is from someone that does not use it at all to where they can get at least efficient with it to the point where they can start catching fish with it? What have you noticed with that?
Sure. So it's going to vary with the degree of experience. I'm going to go back to the iPhone. How well can you manipulate that? How well can you manage the iPhone and know how to interact and work the iPhone, right? I mean, how does that work? So if you've already got those pathways in your brain, if you've already got that process down and understanding how to integrate or interact with electronics, that makes the process easier, right? But if you're in flip phone era, then that's going to make it a lot more difficult because there are just some basic things that we as iPhone users, for instance, take for granted, or smartphone users. We take that for granted. And then if, let's say now that you are, literate, iPhone literate, for instance, let's say that you are, then it's a much easier process, I think, because there's only just a few settings that you need to work with or you need to deal with to, see that or to understand how to get it set up, to have it operating correctly. And then it's just, again, integrating it in your mind, understanding the information that you're seeing and then with that information, apply it to your fishing, to your location choices, to your next cast, whatever it may be. That's the part that takes a while for anybody.
Right.
For anybody, even if I fish every day, and have fish, well, not maybe every day, but certainly a lot, and I'm out there a lot. So the learning curve is much, more flat for me. I can get to it pretty quick because I'm doing it often. But if you're not doing it often, and it's really about creating pathways in your mind. It's creating that, those processes where you see something on the screen, and then without cognitively thinking of it, or in a presence way thinking of it, you know what to do based on the information you see. And that takes a while. You've got to do that. You've got to process that information and then be able to apply it. And that comes, more easily. The more you do it, the more you understand it, and the more you're comfortable with it. And so you're not physically thinking about it per se. You are, but you're not, on the top of the mind sort of thing going, okay, I see this. What do I have to do with that? Or how should I cast? Or what should I do now? That is, that goes away. It just becomes, okay, you see that fish is 40 feet out from your transducer, and he's 15 feet down, and he's hanging over, 80 feet of water on top of a tree. Boom, throw that out there, and you can fish that. You just know the cast to make,
right?
And you know how to process that information. So, kind of bumbled around this, but the idea is that you've got to train your brain to utilize that information you're getting. It's just another tool. You're getting a constant flow of information. How you integrate that and how you process that information that comes to you is really is how effective it's going to be for you. And it's the thing you've got to learn if you want to get better at it. And it's the thing that you've got to practice. And as you practice it, you're definitely going to improve, and it's going to come more naturally. It's just like learning to run a trolling motor, for instance. Like if you never ran a foot control trolling motor, you're constantly thinking about, okay, I need to turn it left, right. I mean, I haven't thought about what direction I want to turn the trolling motor in, I don't know, 30 years, right? Because it just happens. I want to go over there, and my foot just does it, right? That's because I've carved pathways in my brain. It knows what to do. I know what needs to happen. In the back of my mind that's running that trolling motor, I know if I need to go left, right, whatever. I'm not thinking, okay, now toe down means it's going to go back, and you don't think like that, right?
Exactly.
And once you use forward-facing sonar enough, it's that repetition. You'll have the same thing happen. You'll integrate that information instantly into your fishing and make decisions much more quickly and more easily. And at the end of the day, the most important thing I think is more confidently. That's the biggest thing. You get confidence of what you're seeing, and how then to respond to that or react to that particular situation.
Yeah, and I guess Joe Winkler, shout out to Joe Winkler, a member of the Money Team. He kind of added,
Joe.
Yeah, he added a little something to it. He said it really helps not to suck in general. So
well, yeah. You know what?
So I guess that'll help with the learning curve too.
You've got to help. I mean, you've got to say that's true. I mean, he's got a point. Good
right.
point. Good point.
Right. All right. So let me. All right, guys. So I dropped the link in the chat. Hold on just a second. So if anybody wants to come up and ask some questions, what I will do is go ahead and put the link in here. And all you do is click on that link, and I will pull you up on the screen. Just make sure your lighting is good. And if you have a question or two or any thoughts that you want to add into the conversation, then you can drop that in there. But I want to get a big shout out to, we have the MoneyBass Tid checking in. I gotta kind of split that up a little bit. He hit the channel with the $1.99 super chat. Really, really appreciate that, guys. Each week, what I say is whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker during the live stream is the sponsor of the live stream, because this channel is supported by the viewers and the subscribers, and every once in a while, the people who stop through just to see what's going on over here with good old MoneyBass. So let me hop in here and change this banner. Right now, it currently says special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Bass Life. That was the sponsor of the last live stream. So let me hop in here and change this real quick. Just bear with me, guys. This is a live show, so sometimes I have to stop and do a little work. And that does bring me to another thing. I know a lot of people catch the live streams on the I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. Just bear with me real quick. Let me make sure I put some respect on his name. Don't want to spell it wrong. Spell it wrong. All right, but yeah, so anybody that catches this on the replay, what you're missing out on is the live chat. The guys are getting very active in the chat. I do try to hop in and, you know, read some of those chats whenever I can, but it gets to moving kind of fast sometimes. And so what I do is I will bring up the members of the money team. Those are the guys that you see with the badge right next to their name. If you are interested in becoming a member of the channel, just click the join button and it will give you some information on it. And the link is pinned to the top of the chat. But I see a message in here. It looks like somebody had a message for you. Let's see if you know who this is right here. Do you know who that is?
I have no idea who that is. No clue. Never heard of him, never seen him. What's her name?
He says Jimmy equals LD. He says Jimbo normally calls me honey.
Honey. Hey, honey. What's up?
All right. All right. So looks like we have somebody that wants to come up and ask a question. And what I do, guys, is I have a timer. Let me get the timer ready. So what I do is bring you up for maybe like a minute or two, let you, if you have a question, then you can ask your question. If you have a comment, statement, or something like that, you can drop that real quick, and then I'll drop you down and bring up the next person. So it's very interactive, guys. We try to make sure we have some fun with it. All right, so let's see. Who do we have? We have Brandon. What is going on, guys? Brandon? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, so what thoughts do you have? What do you have to say about the topic we have this evening?
Well, with all the forward-facing sonar talk and everything that's going on, and people, you know, over the years have said, oh, you know, we need a stocking program because fishing was tough. And now they're saying, well, forward-facing sonar, we're catching all the fish, so the fishing is tough. Would either of you agree that maybe it's strictly the pressure and the amount of anglers we have today versus 15 years ago? And I live on Grand Lake in Oklahoma, and we have 4 tournaments a weekend with, you know, who knows how many boats, at least 300 boats total. That's not counting the local jackpots, you know, the small clubs. That's not counting recreational anglers. That's just tournament anglers.
Right.
And that much pressure at week in and week out, it makes it tough.
Definitely. All right, yeah. I'll let you go with that one first, Jimbo. What do you think? This pressure. So the short of it is, does the pressure on the lake play into it more so than the forward-facing sonar? That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with what Brandon's saying. It is, it's definitely a major factor. Having that, having more people going after the same fish, and that's one of the things. That's one of the caveats of forward-facing sonar. You've got more people fishing for fish that were never targeted before. Mm-hmm. So yeah, the pressure on some of those what were almost never pressured fish has gone way up, and that certainly can contribute to more challenging fishing conditions and a tougher bite. There's no doubt about it. That is the flip side, and that's some great perspective, Brandon. It's just it's definitely had an impact for sure, no question.
Well, and I agree with you, but like you say, the fish that were never pressured before that are out there, like, to me, those fish don't even matter because we weren't even pressuring those fish before. But I know that those fish eventually come to the bank to spawn and do their thing. They don't always stay deep. But I mean, as far as you just drive around the lake on a weekend and look at the boat ramps, and it's just boats everywhere. And COVID really ramped it up. You know, nobody was going to work.
Exactly.
They all fishing.
Right.
And it hasn't really slowed down much since then. So to me, I just think it's the amount of boats on the lake, even if you're not catching them, having that trolling motor, the big motor running, they're seeing more and more and more lures over and over and over.
Yep.
By tough.
100%. And that's why there's innovations all the time in terms of more natural looking presentations, like hover rigging, for instance. And that's something that, Jimmy mentioned. He's got a new bait coming out, but that sort of thing. That's why we keep evolving, not just on the, on the side of technology, but on the presentation side, because these fish are so pressured. They see so many lures, and yeah, they become way more hesitant and incredibly more aware of your presence. I think, and this is one thing we didn't address before, but something about that ping on a forward-facing sonar transducer draws fish to my boat. Like when I'm pull in a ditch, for instance, put the forward facing down, and I start looking around. There's fish that are in that mix that I'm looking to cast to that just run to the boat. And once they get into the boat, they're difficult to catch. You can catch them, but it's not as easy as if you can present to them with a natural looking presentation before they realize that you're there. So I think that is the double-edged sword side of this, is that some of those fish know you're there sooner because you've got the pinging of that forward-facing sonar going all the time, and that can deter, as well as more and more fish seeing baits all the time. That's going to make them more leery. They just kind of shut down because they know things are not natural in their environment at the point that you're there, and they see that more and more. So definitely
absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to add two points real quick. So with that pinging, one of the things that I've noticed too, and I kind of make jokes about it. Have you seen to where you pull up to a spot, and if you get too close to that school of fish, to me, I've seen it to where it looks like they send out 2 or 3 of their buddies. You'll see them start swimming closer to the boat. They'll come there for a second, and then you'll see them swim back. And to me, I always say, hey, they just came and told on us. They came and looked, and they was like, oh, yeah, he's out there. And then they go back and tell the school, and you can throw what you want out there. They may follow your bait, or they're just sitting down there just laughing at you because they're like, we know what you're doing, buddy. We've already sent our scouts out there. So to me, I've kind of noticed something like that.
That's like the guys when they got a school fired up, they throw them in the live well because they don't want those fish going back and telling the school, hey, they're catching us, don't bite that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, and then the other thing, hold on, let me just drop this link in here. So if anybody else wants to come up and ask a question, the link is in the chat. So the other thing, what you were mentioning, and I have seen where they were showing how many millions of new people came into fishing. We're buying licenses and things like that. So even if you take away forward-facing sonar, and now you're just relegated to the people that are there fishing the bank, I would say that the majority of people that come into fishing are going to be fishing that bank. And the majority of people that you hear complaining and saying like, hey, I'm not catching any fish anymore, where are all the fish at? And I think it's like you were saying, because of now that extra pressure that has been put on that shallow water fishing. And then those people are complaining and saying, hey, my fishing is no longer the same. But it's because, like you're saying, now when you go out there, there could be 4 tournaments going on. One may have 50 boats, another one 200 boats. A high school tournament, I've heard those things have boats of what, 300-400 boats before.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I understand what you're. Yeah, so I kind of understand what you're saying with that. And so that's what I would think, that just that pressure alone is enough to make people say, well, hey, something's changed, and they're looking to blame it on that one thing when there could be 10 factors or 20 factors going into it, and one of which is all those other millions of people that are now out there on the lake.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right, so really, really appreciate you coming up, Brandon. Really appreciate it. All right, great question. All right, big shout out to Brandon, guys. He came up with a question. If anybody else wants to come up, have a question or two, or wants to drop their insight, their thoughts on the topic, you are more than welcome to do that. The link is in the chat. But wait a minute, what is this? Oh my goodness, stop the show. We have Crush It Jail has stepped up and said, you know what? I'm kind of liking this content. I'm kind of finding some value in here. Let me hop in here and become the sponsor of the live stream. So it looks like the Mass Bass kid, I have to slide you over. Somebody came in and say, let me take that spot. I'll be the sponsor for tonight's live stream. All right, so just bear with me again, guys. Like I said, this is a live show. So let me get in here and do a little work. Change this to Crush. I always have to make sure I put some respect on the name. Crush It Jail has come in and become the sponsor of the show. So now if you take a look at the banner that's scrolling at the bottom of the screen, it now says special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Crush It Jail. All right, really, really appreciate it. All right, so it looks like we have somebody else that wants to come up. Again, guys, the link is in the chat for anybody that wants to come up and ask the resident expert. He has been a guide for 14 years on Lake Lanier. So he has seen a lot of things, fished with a lot of people, heard a lot of different perspectives. So if you guys want to come up, and drop a question or two, then like I said, the link is in the chat. All right, so without further ado, who do we have here? Who do we have here?
What's going on, Jimbo?
What is going on? What is going on? So we have There He Go Fishing. I think that's what you go by, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
All right.
There you go.
You got a question, Jimbo?
Yes, sir.
Are you running brushless motors, trolling motor?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
The reason I asked, I was trying to see if you noticed a difference on the brushless when you approach the fish.
Yeah, it's a good point, and it's something that I've done a little research on, to be honest, not a lot. I just kind of take it as it comes, the situation, and I'm not one that tinkers a lot with stuff. Like, I don't go modifying lures like some guys are really good at modifying lures. I like, I want to focus all my efforts on how do I got to go catch the fish. But it's a good point, and it can make a difference. I'm certain of that. I just don't, it's just not something that I've had a lot of experience with. I've heard some chit chat about it, but nothing to give you a good solid answer. So rather than making something up, I'm going to tell you I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just wonder. All right.
No, it's a great point. It's a great point.
And real quick, I know you're out there doing your thing on Lake Lanier too. So what are your thoughts on the forward facing sonar thing, since I have you up here real quick? What do you think about that?
I use it just for reference. Instead of me fishing dead water, if I pull up in a spot and I see what's around, every once in a while I throw out there to them. Like yesterday, I was out there yesterday and I found 3 fish just sitting on the bottom, belly down on the bottom of the ditch. I threw past them, and as I popped it over top of them, one of them raised up and he hit. And then sometimes I have it where they'd be sitting on the bottom. I throw it to them, they won't do anything. I mean, I can jig it in front of their face. They'll go up with it, come back down. Won't do anything, but like I said, it does give me a reference of, all right, I know it's fish right there. I'm not fishing dead water, so I can try to either waste 5-10 minutes trying to get them, or I can just say, you know what, go on and move on to the next spot. So,
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good deal. All right. Really appreciate you for coming up. I did drop that link again. All right. Big shout out to There He Go Fishing.
There he goes.
That's right. And congratulations on that Angler of the Year. 2023 Angler of the Year.
Yeah, last year.
All right. Big shout out to you. All right. Really appreciate you coming up. All right. So yeah, so we're getting some pretty good questions. So let me hop back over here real quick. So the poll that I like I said, we'll drop a few different polls throughout the show. So that first one was just to kind of gauge the room to see who was for and against. So it looks like we're sitting at about 75% of people that are, feeling the forward facing sonar thing, and 25% that weren't. So the next poll that I had put up, and it looks like you guys did get active in the chat. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. I got to stop the show again. How are my likes looking, guys? Can I get a few likes? They're looking kind of famished. Can somebody set the hook on the like button for me? So can I get maybe like 5, 6, 7 more likes, guys? It really does help the show out. All right. So the next poll that I put up, guys, was, should there be a limit to the number of transducers in tournaments? Of course, if you're out there fun fishing, you're doing your own thing, you can have 10 screens on the boat if you want. You can have 10 transducers on there. But in tournament fishing, do you guys think there should be a limit, or should they just be able to go, just go crazy with it? So right now, what I would say is people are putting 2 transducers up front. So they may have one that is in forward mode, another one in landscape mode. And then at the console, as we saw earlier, people are putting one at the console now. And that one is obviously in forward mode. But I can see eventually somebody will not eventually. I'm pretty sure somebody already has 2 at the console. So they'll have one facing forward and a landscape mode already at the console. And right now we're sitting at 50-50, guys. We're at 50-50. So 50% are saying, yes, there should be a limit. 50% is saying no, just let them go crazy with it. Let them do what they want. So what are your thoughts on that? What do you think? Should there be a limit to it, or just let them roll with what they want in tournaments?
Talking to me, is it?
Yeah.
I think let it roll.
Yeah, let it roll. All right, there we go. All right. So give me a second. What I'm going to do is change this poll to the next question. Let's see. So if we're letting it roll, well, no, I guess if we're letting it roll, then, because the next question was going to be, how many transducers do you think people should have? But we could just go ahead and skip that one. So let's just see how
all
many
of them. That's the answer to that question. All of them.
All of them. All right. So now for the people that aren't into using forward facing sonar, let me drop a poll in here. And then what I want to do next is bring up, because I have some footage from the seminar from the expo from last time, and there's some there was one vendor that I remember that kind of stood out. I want to show that, and then just a quick layout of what we had for last time. But let me drop the poll real quick. Just bear with me, guys. Like I said, this is a live show, so I'm starting this new poll. So this is for the, I'll put it, man, I was gonna say anti-forward facing sonar guys. Does that sound all right?
Anti-forward facing.
Okay.
Anti-forward facing.
Okay, anti-forward facing sonar guys. Have you, well, let's see. Do you, well, yeah, have you used it? How about that? Have you used it? All right, and we'll keep it quick and simple. So we'll say yes, and then we'll say no, because we have some diehard guys out there that's like, under no circumstances will I put that demon of a technology on my boat. So we have some guys that'll say yes, and then we'll have no. And this is just to kind of gauge the room, because like I said, guys, I like hearing both perspectives on any topic that we pretty much go over, guys. All right, so that poll is active, and so this is for the people that are saying that they are not, that they are against forward-facing sonar. And the question is quick and simple. Let me just hop in here. It says, have you used it? So have you used it? And I said, okay, so you guys are getting active in the poll. So really, really appreciate the participation, guys. All right. Let me see. What else? Was there one other thing? All right. Just wanted to give another quick rundown. Shout out to, we have LJ checking in. He has become a member of the channel. All right. Shout out to James Harmon. He's another big timer out here on Lake Lanier, out here doing his thing. And he will be at the expo. Is that correct?
Yes, he will.
Yes, so he'll definitely be at the expo.
Lanier Bates will have a booth. They'll be right by Humminbird, and LJ and Josh from Humminbird are going to be doing one of our classes, our 3 p.m. class about deep water finesse fishing and electronic usage as well. So
yeah, like I said, I'm going to be broadcasting live from the expo, guys. But I'm going to definitely take an intermission during some of those seminars. So if you guys can make it out to the expo, you definitely want to come out there, because it's going to be some great information. And Josh is another great guy. I fished with him once or twice out there on Lake Lanier. He really knows his thing about those.
He does.
Systems.
He does.
Yeah. All right. And want to give another big shout out to the Bass. Did it wrong. Tid. Hit us with the $1.99 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. And the current sponsor of the live stream is Crush It Gel. All right, guys. So if anybody else does want to call in, we'll run for just a little bit longer. And so I have that poll running, but let me just share my screen real quick, because I did want to pull this up. And while some of this is playing, you can kind of talk about the expo again. All right. So just bear with me real quick, guys.
Sure.
All right. Let's see. I have to share my screen. Like I said, we do, this is a live show. So I have to get in here and do a little work every once in a while. I want to make sure I pull up the right clip. All right. And let me bring this up.
Nice.
All right. There we go, guys. All right. And just bear with me while I get everything lined up for you guys, because there are some things in here that I definitely want you to take a look at. All right, let me hop back into the comment section. All right, there we go. All right, so yeah, so this is pretty much just one section of the expo.
Yeah, that's before we open, by the way.
Okay, gotcha.
Packed. I've got some pictures on my site. Man, that thing was absolutely jam-packed last year.
Right. Okay.
For 4 hours straight. It was incredible. Yeah.
All right. So guys, forgive me on let me bring this back up real quick. This footage is when we're right before the doors are opening up. So the vendors are in here, they're setting up, and I was kind of just going through prior to the actual broadcast, just to give you guys an idea of the vendors. So yeah, so later on in the show, it's packed on both sides. And the other thing too, some of the footage is going to be when the seminars are going on. So, and this actually could have been when some of those seminars started taking off, or like you said, this may have been at the beginning before we started. But whenever those seminars start and he starts talking about, the electronics, so they have those special baits, like you're saying, there's going to be some companies there that have some sonar specific baits. That room is going to clear out. People are going to run in there because they're going to want to see what's going on. But yeah, so this is just kind of the layout some of the vendors that were there. But yeah, so you can go ahead and give some more information about it. Well, let me just pull this back up again. While this is going through.
Yeah, Georgia Blade there. That's these are our longest term supporters. Love the guys over at Georgia Blade, Pam and Mike Shepard, super people. They always bring all their inventory, great deals, and just so friendly. They're just such a credit to the fishing community here in the Lake Lanier area. They're amazing people. Always happy to have them. Of course, they're going to be back with a wide range of jigs and spinnerbaits and spoons and, you know, A-rigs and all the stuff that you need to go fish Lanier or anywhere else. It's really impressive, the product that they put forward. So grateful to have them back. And then as we scan through here, there he goes. Yeah, there's Pam there on the right, just a super lady.
Yeah, and then there was another quick section I wanted to. Let me pull up this next one real quick. Okay, so there we go. There's Lanier Baits.
There's
right there.
Jimmy Harmon and the crew. Yep, there they are. Look at them, looking stellar. Always do a great job. Jimmy's been a long-term participant in these events as well, and we always look forward to welcoming him back. He's got great knowledge, and obviously a great bait company with some super soft plastic baits. You know, I try to get him better looking every year, but I fail. So
Gotcha.
That's as good as we can get right there.
Yeah, and they were set up and ready to go. I remember that table was full and they have some more product behind the table, but by the end of that thing, those bins were empty.
Gosh. Yeah, they killed it last year. They killed it.
Right. They were out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see. So there's another part in here that I wanted people to see. Hold on just a second. Let me cue this up because I'm definitely gonna head over to this booth right here, but I figured I'd show some people. Let's see, where is it at? Let me get this queued up for you guys. Okay, here we go. This right here.
Yeah, man, that's Long Creek Customs. These guys have been with us for a long time as well, and they do a great job of creating these baits and painting these baits. It's one of our most popular booths every year. People run to go see what's there, and they often have very little to no inventory left when the show's over. So, and they bring hundreds of baits. They're up there. I think they're based north of Nashville in Upper Tennessee there. So they make a drive down every year, and they just knock it out of the park, man.
And look at the price on these baits, guys. I'm pretty sure the price may have gone up a little bit since then.
Probably.
Because take a look at the quality of these baits as we go through. And then real quick, so this is taking place next weekend, January 13th, and the doors open at 10 o'clock. That's correct?
10 a.m. But if you're a subscriber to my video fishing reports, you get in at 9:30. So you get to come to the Long Creek Customs booth 30 minutes before any of the other general public. So being a subscriber has its privileges, and that's one of them. You're going to get into the show at 9:30 versus 10. So you get first crack if you want to be there early. Gotcha.
And then since I will be broadcasting live, guys, for anybody that is watching the broadcast, the vendors, we will be going over to their booth so you can see the products and things like that they have. And I know some of them, they may offer discount codes on certain products. You know, it just depends. Different vendors may have different criteria for that, but they are putting together ways that you can actually order product and have the product shipped to you also. So they did that last year. But like I said, guys, that is something that has become big, these glide baits and different things like that. But just look at the quality of these. And I mean, I have a rod that isn't rigged up yet that I'm waiting to find something like one of these right here. That's what I kind of have my eye on. But yeah, I kind of want to get into that. And these right here, they are some real nice looking baits. And I saw the price on them. I was like, oh yeah.
And what Money's telling, let me just interpret here what you're saying. What Money's telling you is that he's going to be the guy there at 9 a.m. because he's already setting up his booth, getting ready. He's going to be over at the Long Creek Customs booth, and he's going to get his pick. I just see it coming, man.
Oh, definitely. Because I mean, I saw some ones there, you know, that have that nice purple haze to it, and these are custom colors too. So it's like when you're looking, it's not like there's gonna be 20 or 40 of each one of these things.
No.
So yeah, you want to get there and pick out the ones that you
want to
pick out
get the
ones that you want.
goods and get it quick. And they do crankbaits, swim baits, top waters. They've got all sorts of stuff. They always go to East Tennessee fishing show every year as well. But I'm just honored that they continue to come back and grace us with their presence at the Jimbo Expo. So always a very popular booth. Lots of great products and just all custom painted. And these guys work hard at it.
Right. And so the information for the expo it's on jimboonlanier.com, right?
Correct. And there's a Jimbo Expo tab from the main menu that you just pull down and you can go right to it. And it'll give you more information. And obviously, especially for the next few days and the last few days, we've been flooding social media with different promos, advertisements, and information regarding the event. So you can find out a lot either online, on the website, or on social media platforms.
Gotcha. Okay. And while we're at it, let me just go ahead and do a little something else real quick. Let me see. Again, guys, this is a live show, so just bear with me. What I am doing is trying to pull up some information so you guys can take a look at it live and in action since we are here right now. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right, so there we go. So if you go to jimboonlanier.com, and then you said there's an expo tab.
Yeah, Jimbo's Expo. They're top, probably middle right.
Okay, Jimbo's Fishing Expo.
That's it. Yep. Click on that.
All right, let's see. There we go. All right, there we go. So if you go to jimboonlanier.com, guys, then that is where you can.
And look, there's Long Creek Customs. We've got all the. We do scrolling of all the groups and vendors that are going to be there. So you can go in there, see the vendors that are coming. Shortly, we'll have our full raffle prize list. We're giving away MoneyBass. I don't know if we talked about this yet. We're giving away a brand new G Loomis NRX Plus with a Shimano Sustain reel. That's our grand prize. We've got tons of other great raffle prizes. You get a ticket when you get there, but you can purchase more if you like. And there's ways to win them that we'll have through the day. But that is one thing my sponsors, I'm so grateful. They always come with the goods and they provide, each one of my vendors is donating something to that raffle. And then all of the sponsors that I've had over the years, like Seagar and Shimano Fishing, John Meagle Chevrolet, Advantage Boat Center, they all promote and bring raffle prizes. So this is kind of some information from years past that we've done. We've been running this show for, I think, 10 years now. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, in some form or another, it's grown from, classes originally with a little bit of booths to more expo driven with some classes. It's, we've kind of varied the mix, trying to keep it fresh every year. So we give a different, look. There's Long Creek again.
Right.
They're set up there. It's just amazing being able to bring, because we really target our the small businesses. We're a small business. These lure providers are all small businesses. We're trying to create this community of people that can come and enjoy fishing, support one another. And that's really what it's about. It's just, my family runs this with me. So my daughters will be there. My wife, she's very integral to the process. It's all about, making people feel welcome, making them feel comfortable, and providing a way that anglers in the community can come together and support one another, develop and forge relationships, and maybe learn something along the way too.
Right. Definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. So, what did you say? It was a G Loomis, or what was the?
It is a G Loomis NRX Plus. So it's a shaky head rod.
Yeah. Got a question. Can I get in that raffle?
Yeah, man. You bet, buddy. You bet. You bet. And if MoneyBass wins, listen, it was not a rig, okay? I'm just telling you. He won fair and square. Never, ever tilt the scales in the MoneyBass direction. Okay?
Yeah, because last time I did win. I won a rod. I won I can't remember which rod it was, and then there was a high school angler that had won the reel. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I pulled him to the side. I was like, man, that sure is a nice reel. I was like, can I hold it? So he took it out of the box and let me hold it, and I put it on the rod and everything. I was like, man, this sure does feel good. And then so he was looking, he was like, yeah, and I said, here you go, it's yours. So I went ahead and gave it to the high school. Oh, and that's another thing. So all of the high schoolers, their entry is,
I can't believe we neglected to mention that. Thank you. The rod benders, a group that you're associated with, and a lot of the wonderful members, Carlos and Dale and all the guys, they've came together and they are sponsoring all high school anglers. So if you're a high school angler, you wear your jersey, you get in free, courtesy of the rod benders. It's not free, it's the rod benders doing that. And
wow.
let me just say, man.
All right.
The rod benders are the classiest group of people and the classiest bass club I've ever seen. They're always, and obviously MoneyBass is one of these guys, but just always supportive, always paying it forward, doing everything they can to support the community. They've done so much to support me. I'm so grateful for the rod benders. And that's just one of the great things that they do is, really trying to pay it forward, getting the high school kids involved. So wear your jersey. No entry fee for you, courtesy of the rod benders. So thank you.
All right. Big shout out to the high school anglers. Make sure you guys come and show up. I mean, it's going to be some great info. Great info. All right. So it looks like we have another question. So hold on. Let me just hop back over here real quick. All right. So we have another question. Let's see. Who do we have? What is going on? We have DP checking in. How are you doing, DP?
DP.
All right. How you doing, man? Happy New Year's to you, Jimbo.
Happy New Year, man. Happy New Year to you as well.
And this is a member of the Rod Benders Bass Club. How about that?
Yes, I sure am. And actually, the person who gave Jimbo Ryan's number for they can have this night out that they have now.
Yes, that's exactly right. Thank you, Darren.
Did you get a chance to talk to my my buddy Spencer Graves?
I have not spoken to Spencer recently. I know he moved to Alabama.
Right.
We have not connected. My schedule's been hectic enough with the holidays and prepping for this that I have not had an opportunity to catch up with him. How's he doing?
He's doing good. He's doing good. I talked to him for Christmas and New Year's. I went down and spent the night with him at his place down there, one down on Logan Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, see, look, you wanted to slide in that you won a tournament, huh?
No, he's a good buddy. He's a good friend of Jimbo's too. But anyway, the question, I ain't gonna hold up the time. I know Brian he keep me on the time.
Let me start this timer on the
Time's up. Thanks for coming, buddy.
Do you fish a blade bait? And if you do, where do you fish it?
So when you say blade bait, are you talking like a bladed jig, like a
yeah, like a Demiki, the bladed, yeah.
Well, so bladed jig, like I say, I just want to narrow down what we're talking about specifically. There's the old blade baits that have now, like the Demiki vault blade. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that absolutely plays on Lanier in the wintertime. It's just a more subtle, sometimes we'll start earlier in the fall when the fish really just first get into the ditches, and you can drop a spoon on them and jig a spoon and catch them. And that's, that works for a while, but then you start to you've got to go move to like the Demiki rig, something a little more subtle, a little more finesse. And, I put that blade bait in something that's just a different look. It's like the hover rigs. It's like, things like that are less used, I guess is the way I would put it. It's not as common. So yes, the Demiki vault blade, which is basically like the old original Silver Buddy, is what I used back when I started fishing. This was back on the Potomac River, gosh, in the 90s. Yeah. We would use we'd use those Silver Buddies on in the spoils there on the Potomac, catching fish in the wintertime there. But yes, it is a more subtle type of bait. It's a different presentation. It's got the vibration when you pull it up, and then it just kind of falls very erratically down. And on any given day, that can be the answer, and that can be productive. So I've always got some on the boat, and it's definitely something that we interact with and try. from time to time, but a very viable lure for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And for Ryan, I am hooking up my new target lock. So forward facing sonar is a must for me. I mean, I love it, but I have had an instance that I was looking with my target lock and found a tree or brush pile and scanned over and seen the fish, and fish, it seemed like they seen me and swam out of it.
Yeah,
they swam away from me.
Yeah, that's angler error right there. So you said they saw you.
Is that what it is? Yeah. But you know what? I was on your boat when I did it.
Also, it was me.
He got you, Money.
Yeah. So
he got me back. He did.
That was good.
All right, I'm just messing. So, all right. So, what were you saying? So, did you have a question about the target lock thing?
Yeah, I was going to ask Jimbo. Do you have a target lock, or you just do it by foot?
I just do it by foot. I don't use like the extraneous devices. Help me, Money. What are those called? The things that you can oh gosh, I can't think of the name of those things. The turrets that people use.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I don't use the turret. It's my transducer is attached to my trolling motor shaft, and it just spins with the trolling motor. And that's the way I've kind of we talked about training my brain earlier.
Right.
That's the way I train to do it. And to me, I want as fewer steps as possible to do anything. I don't like to have another thing to deal with or another electronic gadget that can break. I like simplicity. That's the old school in me, right? Give me
right.
And the less buzzy, wuzzy, flizzy things that I got to deal with that could break, the better off I am personally and mentally. I don't do all the other stuff. I just use it on the trolling motor, and I've just kind of learned how to do it, and that's the way I do it.
The reason why I asked you that, Ryan had got on a boat with me, and I don't have target lock, so he was like, "Man, this is actually pretty tough," because he got target lock.
Right.
So you have to constantly be on that foot.
Of course he's got target. Come on. What are you thinking, man? Of course he does.
And actually, I got to give a big shout out to one of my subscribers. They actually donated that to the channel. I just got a message one day and they were like, "Would you mind if I send you a target lock?" And I said, "Why, no, sir. I would not mind that at all."
No, don't say anything like that. No, I don't want that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get off. I'll see you next Saturday, Jimbo.
DP, thank you so much for chiming in. It's great to see you again, and always appreciate your support, man. Thanks for being here.
Always.
All right.
Thanks,
big
DP.
shout out to DP. Really, really appreciate it. All right, let's see. So we are rolling. We're rolling. Man, time goes by kind of fast. We've been rolling for 1 hour and 37 minutes. All right, so man, guys. All right,
I gotta get up at 5:30, MoneyBass. I'm going to be on what was the O'Neill Outside Show or O'Neill Outdoors. Mac Farr is actually taking that over. His first ever broadcast is tomorrow. So I'm going to be on that tomorrow morning at 5:30. So yeah, man, it's all about the publicity now. We got to rock.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're rolling.
Rolling, baby.
Yeah. So I guess we'll keep on rolling. I have a few more polls that I'll put up and stuff like that. But is there anything that you wanted to say to your peoples as you head out?
Yeah. Well, first of all, again, thanks to MoneyBass for having me on the show tonight. It has been amazing. I've loved being here and seeing the conversations, answering the questions. I appreciate all the things that you do to support the fishing community. I appreciate the rod benders, phenomenal group of individuals that have always been very supportive of me. So that's where all this kind of originated and kind of why we're here where we are now.
Right.
So thank you for that. And, to all my clients and maybe future clients, et cetera, I'm so blessed to be able to serve you. And that's really how I look at it, as I serve my clients and try to give them the experience that they seek. I'm grateful for that opportunity. I never take it for granted. It's something that I take very seriously, that I am an experienced provider, a memory maker, a coach, all those things. And I love what I do. And I love this opportunity to interact with quality individuals. And like I say, the classiest bass club on the planet, the rod benders. It's amazing. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here. Grateful for everybody that utilizes my services and supports me as a, and I just want to support as many other small businesses as I can and other groups that are all about furthering the great sport that we love so much in fishing.
Gotcha. All right. Really appreciate that, guys. All right. So listen, make sure you guys tune in next Saturday. I will be broadcasting live from the expo January 13th, starting at 10 a.m. is when the doors open. If you're a special subscriber on Jimbo on Lanier, then you get in a little earlier, so you may get some of those deals that other people don't get. So you might want to make sure you look out for that. But yeah, so definitely really appreciate it. And I have to bring you back on the show. I know the guys were being kind of
wait.
Yeah, I have to bring you back because I know they were being a little shy. They don't realize they have the resident expert. They got the expert right here that they could have had. They could have went ahead and got some real good info out of you. But yeah, I'll definitely bring you back. Really appreciate it. I'll let you go ahead and head out so you can get ready for that, for your TV show.
But yeah, the show tomorrow. Then I'm out on the water all day tomorrow and Sunday. So lots going on. Of course, it all happens at once, right? We're just
right.
But we're all working hard to make sure we have a great experience for everybody at the expo next week. I hope to see you all there. And again, Money, thanks for having me, man. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Good deal. Big shout out to Jimbo on Lanier. All right, I will see you next weekend, guys.
Can't wait, brother. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. All right, guys. So that is Jimbo on Lanier. Let's get another round of applause for him. He was answering some good questions, guys. Some real good information came out of that. But yeah, I was surprised you guys didn't come up and ask him some more questions. But make sure you go to jimboonlanier.com so you can get the information about that expo. So I think we can keep rolling for a little longer, guys. I've been out of the loop with the chat. So I like getting in here, getting involved too, to see what you guys are talking about. But first things first, let's hop back into that poll, because I know there were some people that were interested in that. All right, so shout out to the current sponsor of the live stream. We have Crush It Jail. Hit us with the $10 super chat. Each week, what I say is whoever gives the largest super chat is the sponsor of the live stream. So big shout out to Crush It Jail. Really appreciate that. All right, so the last poll that we put in here, guys, was 25% of the people that are watching the live stream. We like to poll the room to kind of gauge where people, what people's thoughts are on the topic. And so we had 25% that were saying they were not for forward-facing sonar. They weren't really feeling it. They didn't like the forward-facing sonar thing. So of those 25% of the viewers at the time, how did you guys, what have you used forward-facing sonar? And guess what? We have to stop the show. It was 50-50. So 50% said they have used it and 50% have not used it. So we have, we're an even playing field. And that's what the guys that aren't into using forward-facing sonar. So I know that was something that I saw in the chat. Somebody wanted to know that. So I dropped that poll in there for you. So there you go. All right, so let me just check and see if we had any more interesting poll questions. Don't see any on here right now. All right, guys, so I'll hop into the chat a little bit, and I did drop the link. So if anybody else, our resident expert is gone for the evening, but I will drop the link in the chat just in case anybody else wanted to come up and ask a question or voice their opinion about the current topic of the evening. And to me, it was pretty interesting. I do want to say this, though, on that the turret that they put at the console. Actually, let me see. Let's do another poll because I want to see what you guys think. I kind of like that concept because it is similar, in my opinion, to having a side scan, because you're able to sit there at the console and save a lot of time by just being able to scan with side scan. Just think about that. You can scan with side scan, and while you're scanning with that side scan, you see something that catches your eye. You may see some fish, you may see some structure. You can take that turret and just turn it over and point it directly at what you're looking at to see if there's any activity on it. And the other part to that, with the people that are not really for forward-facing sonar, one of the main reasons is because people are saying that it makes it easier to catch fish. It's unfair for the fish. But really, when you think about it, all of the electronics do that in some form or fashion. But with this, it's used more as a search tool. So I wonder how people feel with using it as a search tool as opposed to using it to catch fish. because from that standpoint, to me, like I said, it's more like using your side scan. All right, so let me go ahead and drop this poll down. So we were sitting at 50, pretty much 50-50 for the people. Have you used forward-facing sonar for the people that are, let's just say, anti-forward-facing sonar to keep it simple. All right, so for this next poll, I'm interested in who would actually mount a forward-facing sonar at the console. So that will be the next poll question. So would you mount a forward-facing sonar at the console of the boat? All right, and once again, we will keep it simple. We will just go with a yes, and we'll go with a no. All right, so that poll is up and running, guys. All right, so now I can hop into the chat. If you guys, I mean, we still have a nice crowd here. So if anybody has a a question that you want to pop into the a poll that you want me to put up, you can drop that in the chat, and I'll take a look and see, maybe we can add it in here. All right, so I'm gonna hop into the chat, guys. I'm just gonna start off with some of the members of the money team, and let's just see how far I am behind on the poll. Okay, so we'll start right here. So this isn't too far behind. All right, so we have There He Go Fishing. Shout out to the money team. If you are interested in becoming a member of the money team, there are a few perks that come along with that. One of which you will see they have a badge next to their name, makes them stand out in the chat. And when things get moving pretty fast, I am able to pull them up and read their questions a little faster. Question the comments. All right, so There He Go Fishing. He says target lock makes a big difference. Oh yeah, it definitely does. I mean, it's definitely something that I would say is almost on the same level as having spot lock. It is definitely something that adds a lot of convenience to fishing. All right, then we have Rick Amato Fishing says, old school, who uses the Johnson Silver Minnow? All right, so you guys are in here talking about baits and lures and all that good stuff too. All right, so Slab Buster says, is it making it harder to catch them? Possibly yes. Hurting population? Nope. All right, let's see. We have 0017 Bulldog checking in. Tim Maynard out. Let me see. I'll bet we'd have more fun. Let me see. I bet we'd have fun and catch a boatload. Man, I've been up here for a minute, guys. Vision getting a little blurry. Maybe I'm getting a little tired trying to read all these messages now. All right, so M. Jones says everyone keeps bass now. Everyone knocks the side off at the ramp according to come on. So they're keeping more fish. We'll see. All right, shout out to Scott. What's that? Easel checking in. All right, a member of the money team. Really appreciate the support of the channel. He says, I keep bass when hooked deep and know they won't make it, and then it forces me to go catch some crappie or white bass to go with it. All right, so hey, I mean, nice fish dinner is always a good thing. All right, Slab Buster says, I don't know one single person that keeps bass unless they throat hook it and it dies. Oh yeah, I mean, I have people that have asked me like, hey, can you bring me a fish or two? And I'm like, hey man, these are my partners out here. I can't just be sacrificing them for no reason like that. But hey, to each his own. I mean, I did used to fish for do a lot of fun fishing and keep fish back in the day. All right, let's see. Then let me see. 0017 Bulldog says maybe it's the bourbon talking, but even though we may disagree on things, this is fun and fishing is fun. Yeah, I mean, whenever we get together like this, guys, I kind of think of it as we're out on a fishing trip together where maybe the tournament's the next day, or maybe we're just going to go out fun fishing. We're camping out. We have the fire going, the barbecue going, and we're just out there, voicing some opinions. Of course, we're not going to agree on everything, so we may go back and forth, but it's still all in fun. I mean, we're still talking about fishing, guys. And sometimes you may hear some different points of view that'll kind of, may be like, hey, I never really thought of it that way. So to me, it's a good deal, guys. I have a lot of fun in the chat. So that's why I kind of like staying in the chat a lot of times. And that is another reason why I tell any of you guys that are catching this on the replay, you get more value out of these live streams whenever you catch them live, because you can not only catch the show itself, but you can interact directly with the chat. I mean, so we have one of the best chats out here on YouTube, guys. So you definitely want to hop in here and mix it up with the guys in here. We're having a great time. All right, so let's see what else we have. Let's see what else we have in here. All right, so yeah, so Tim says, Let me see. He says, yeah, that'd be awesome. And even if we didn't catch them, we'd still have a good time. There we go. That's what it's all about. All right. Then we have Mark Brooks says, one thing to take into account is brushless trolling motors are more expensive to fish. More expensive to fish. Yeah. Somebody did mention that they've noticed that there's some issues that's been going on with those lately. All right. M. Jones says, I only keep a few 12 to 14 inch spots a couple of times a year, but according to everyone is keeping them, and it's good. But there are some lakes that I've been to where they actually have a sign that will tell you that if you catch spotted bass, they will tell you to keep those fish. They do not want you to put spotted bass back in the lake because of overpopulation. So hey, good deal with that. All right, so there he go. Fishing says they come with a 3-year warranty. So those brushless motors, if you do have run into an issue, you have a 3-year warranty to get it worked out. All right, let's see. What else do we have in here, guys? You guys are moving in the chat. All right. Let's see. So LJ said, I'm trying to get caught up. This is not too far behind in the chat. He says, don't want to steal your thunder, Jimbo, but the Agena Sloppy Joe booth is the most popular. All right. So it's going to be some Sloppy Joes at the expo. All right. All right. Then we have Slab Buster says, wish I had that kind of money. Don't just fix it. Just buy another one. Oh, my goodness. Somebody just... that trolling motor breaks it. Like, man, I didn't need it anyway. Let me go ahead and buy a new one. All right. All right. Tim says, let me see. I stopped fishing one day in the middle of an epic deep crankbait bite because I hooked a 7+ way too deep. I knew he wasn't going to make it, and it about killed me, dude. Broke my heart. Oh, man. All right. Yeah. That is kind of tough. That is definitely kind of tough. All right. Let's see. Shout out to Delta Bass. He says, I'm not a big fan of forward-facing sonar, but it's the only way I can compete with some of these guys that's been fishing these lakes for 20+ years, and I'm new to the area, but now I can get an occasional check and trophy. All right. He's out there getting checks and trophies. All right. So there you go. Fishing says 3 years is better than nothing. All right, let's see. I think I'm almost caught up in the chat. You guys are moving. Let me just so I can get caught up, hop in here and check out the money team. See what you guys are in here talking about. All right. Then Scott says, yes, it's just part of the game. Yeah, every once in a while, you can't always save them all. You can't save them all. All right. Barkin Ruger says, who doesn't have it available there? All right. So I don't know. You guys are getting active in the chat. And then Joe Winkler says, I do. I have it. Are you guys talking about a trolling motor? Shout out to Julian Brown, member of the money teams. He says, I would, but I'm poor. Hey guys, I don't have that ching ching like you get. You know what I'm saying? I want to get one of those trolling motors, but it's kind of tough out here sometimes. All right. Scott says, let me see. Once in a while is okay, but where I live in East Texas, we have 1 million tournaments all summer long in temps pushing 100 degrees. And they bring all those fish in, and I know they don't survive. Yeah, that's tough right there. That's definitely tough. All right. Then we have Scott says tournaments kill more fish than forward-facing sonar. All right. Let's see what else we have. What else is the money team in here talking about? Barkin Ruger says, put them gloves on, partner. Let's mix it up. What is Barkin Rugers in here talking about? All right. Joe Winkler says, on my Garmin Force, I have taken the head apart and re-greased the gears and the cheap bearings. Really helps keeping it running smooth. All right. So yeah, so it sounds like you need to do some maintenance on that. So that's another good thing about it, guys. You can get in here and share information like that. If you're learning something about some of your equipment that you think will help other people, definitely drop that in the chat, guys. All right. Let's see what else we have. All right, shout out to Wayne Arthur. Have somebody else checking in. He says forward-facing sonar is amazing, but so was someone who could triangulate. That's old school. The poll shows we need to incorporate both. Oh yeah, that's what I've always said from the beginning is if somebody has those old school skills and they take the time to put in the time and effort into learning, the electronics, and that's actually what Jimbo was saying earlier. It's just taking that time. It's like, are you going to stick with that flip phone or are you going to go ahead and learn that Apple? And those are the people that are able to kind of pick up on that technology a little bit faster from what he was saying. Because as a guide, he sees the full spectrum. He sees people that want to stick to old school. Some people are going to want to go out there and just catch all they can using electronics. you know, but he said it's about the experience, whatever makes that person happy whenever you're out there on the water. And that's pretty much what it's all about, guys. All right, let's see. There you go. Fishing says, Slab Buster, I got the Quest and it's a game changer. All right. All right, let's see what else we have. Shout out to Doty Fishing. Really appreciate you tuning in. Strong member of the channel, member of the Money Team. He says you need Humminbird Mega Live transducer to get target lock to work, but you can add another forward-facing sonar branch to the shaft. Uh-oh, guys, check that out. Uh-oh, where do we go? Where do we go? Okay, there we go. All right, so that was a topic of discussion that someone was asking me, as far as if you have the target lock, because now you can still control it with the foot pedal, and that target lock can still integrate into the system. So if you lock onto a target, does it lock on using the Bluetooth and the connectivity of the system, or is it excuse me, or is it using the transducer itself? Because if you have, for instance, you have a Humminbird setup, but then you put Mega Live or Active Target on the front of the boat, you can actually incorporate that into that target lock system. So that's pretty much what Doty Fishing is saying. All right, so good deal with that. I think that might answer some people's question about it. All right, let's see. What else are you guys talking about in here? What are you talking about? All right, Slab Buster says Bassmaster Classic. They should be no forward-facing sonar allowed. That will add an extra spice to the Classic. All right, good deal with that. All right, there you go, Fishing. Let me see. A friend of mine has one. They are nice. All right, guys. So it looks like we're kind of slowing down. Looks like we're kind of wrapping it up a little bit. How long have we been running for? All right, guys. We've been running for about an hour and 55 minutes. Just a little under that 2-hour mark. And let's just go back through here. I want to give a few shout outs. Shout out to the Mass Bass Kid. He came in with the $1.99 super chat. Really appreciate that. And got to give another big shout out to the sponsor of the show. We have Crush It Gel came in and hit the channel with the $10 super sticker. Really appreciate that. All right, guys. So yeah, hope you guys have found some value in the content. Hold on one second. I see somebody else still has something to say. Let me check in here real quick. Scott says, have you all noticed the spelling gets worse in the chat the longer it goes? Is it whiskey? Is it whiskey? You guys in here feeling a little tipsy? All right, let's see. We have Stephen Walden. He says, I have noticed behind the scenes a lot of pros are talking about having to use forward-facing sonar as a search tool only. If you keep the beam on the fish, they will swim away and don't bite. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. See them, then turn. Okay, yeah, then turn the beam off. All right, so yeah, so we did kind of mention that a little earlier. They send those scouts out there, they'll see you and they're like, yeah, we're done, buddy. We see you out there trying to catch us. All right, let's. Yes, I was muted. I was muted. Appreciate that. All right, guys. So yeah, we've had a great time with it. I think we covered a lot of great material, had some great questions answered, and hearing hearing about the topic from somebody that is out there. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. Stop the show, guys. We have a new sponsor of the live stream. Kind of perking the show up just a little bit. Have to do a little work. So, I can't just end the show now. I gotta, stay in here just a little bit longer. Somebody drop in the chat, what would you like the next poll question to be? We still have a decent sized crowd in here. So if you guys want to get some information and poll the room, drop a question for the poll in the chat. And then I can drop that in there. So yeah, it looks like, Joe Winkler came in and said, hold up, swole up. You can't just run off just yet. I want to hear a little bit more. All right. So he has me in here doing a little work. All right. So let me change this banner real quick, guys. Let's get in here. Special thank you so much to Joe Winkler. All right. There we go. All right, so if you take a look at the bottom of the screen, guys, special thank you so much to the sponsor of the show, Joe Winkler. All right, big shout out to Joe Winkler and a member of the Money Team. Came in with a $25 super chat. All right, he says great stream. All right, so yeah, I stay at, I keep it rolling just a little bit longer. You know how it is. You know how MoneyBass is. I keep it rolling a little bit longer for you. All right, so hold on just a second. Let me hop back into the chat and see what else we have. Barkin Ruger said, oh yeah, Joe just bought him an unmute button. Yeah, he sure did. All right, he hooked it right up. All right, so let's see. Scott says, next poll, no more forward-facing sonar. How is that? That's not even a question. That's not even a question, Scott. What's going on with that? All right, so here we go. Barkin Rugers. I haven't read this yet, but I don't know if I'm gonna. I have. Let's see. He says, who just wants the forward-facing sonar debates to be over and get back to brake jobs? Nobody. You guys have some fun. I mean, it's just another topic that you talk about around the campfire. I mean, just look at this as a we're out camping, guys. We're out here just hanging around the campfire, just talking, having a good time with it. All right, so let's see. But I'll put that poll up here, and I know you guys aren't going to tell the truth. All right, so let's see. Would you mount a forward-facing sonar at the console of the boat? So we have 49% said yes, and 51% said no. So me personally, I would, because I see the value in the amount of time that can save. Just think about not having side scan and having to scan with just using sonar. Now think of adding side scan to the mix. That saves a lot of time. Now you can just drive directly down the middle of a cove and you can find structure and cover, find rocks, find laydowns and brush piles and stuff by just running down the middle of the cove using side scan. Now with adding that at the console, you can turn that the forward facing sonar over towards that structure or cover that you see if there's fish over there. So to me, that's like a no-brainer. But the thing that is not a no-brainer is the price, is the cost. So I would prefer to have one live imaging sonar and just keep that at the console, but have a way to control it from the front of the boat. That is pretty much how I would want to do it. I would not want to be investing in 2 and 3 different transducers. All right, what does Joe Winkler say? Shout out to the sponsor of the live stream. He says biggest bets on time on the water till MoneyBass catches a 5. Wait a second. Biggest bets on time on the water till MoneyBass catches a 5-pound fish. Oh my goodness. So you want me to go out there and talk? But see, the thing about it is that will definitely be boring. I mean, it's not like I'm going out there just crushing them out on the lake right now because I spend too much time talking. So if I really want to go out there and catch a 5-pounder for you guys, I would need to do that not during the live, because during the live, I'm going to be talking to you the same way I'm talking to you now. And I'm not really going to be focusing on fishing that much. So I can go out there and target those 5-pounders and see what I can do. So maybe I will do that the next time I go out and just not do a live, or maybe I will do a live for maybe 30 minutes or an hour and then spend the rest of the time go out and target those bigger fish, see if I can, just run up on a 5-pounder for you and then just make that into a video. So maybe I'll do something like that. But the last on the water live that I did was I believe it was yesterday. So I did that yesterday. So that was on the water live for all of you guys to watch. And then I uploaded the the catch that is in the member section, because like I said, it was, it was just one of those things. But I do need to get some extra perks to the members of the channel. So that content is in the members only section. And actually in the chat, did anybody watch the video that I just put in there for the in that members only section? If you watched it, just put yes, I watched it or something like that. Just want to see who's actually out there watching the members only content. All right, let's see. What does Barkin Ruger say? Joe Winkler, that ain't gonna happen until Hawk puts the heat on him. Uh-oh. Don't call up Chicken Hawk. He might just show up. All right, Barkin Ruger says, MoneyBass, you can drop your trolling motor and idle with your big motor. Yeah, you can do that. Let me see. Steer the forward facing sonar with your remote. it's already on most people's boats and they don't even know it. Yes, I have done that before, but the thing that kind of, it's still like a convenience thing, because let's say if you're going to run and check 5 different areas to determine if you're going to fish it or not. Once you go up there and drop that trolling motor, to me, you might as well just stay up there and control it, because the trolling motor is already down. So you might as well stay up there. For me, the convenience of it is, just think, if you pull up to a spot, you're still at the console, you drop the live imaging sonar, the transducer down right there at the console, and you scan around with it. You don't see what you want, you pull it right back up and take off to the next spot. So to me, I look at it as something that will save time, to not have to keep going up, dropping it, and looking around, and you're already up there. So you just go ahead and fish it anyway, that kind of thing. So I look at it as definitely a tool of convenience once you use it that way. All right, then we have Tulsa Bass Professor says, what's good, Money Bass? What's going on? Really appreciate you tuning into the live stream. All right, once again, shout out to Joe Winkler, the sponsor of the live stream. He says, I've got stories about him. Let me see, forward facing sonar, and only had it on for the last tournament. Okay. All right. So you're out there making it happen. Dodie Fishing says, you can't put a price on having a good time or fishing stuff. Dodie must have some of those big pockets. He said you can't put a price on it. I think a lot of us can. I think a lot of us can, but I get the sentiment. I know what you're saying. But Barkin Ruger says, hey man, I have those deep pockets too. Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing. All right, let's see. What else do we have in here, guys? All right, Joe Winkler says, I'll start with $50. Okay, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you're saying you'll start with $50 if I go out there and catch a 5-pounder? Now, you're going to catch my attention, by saying something like that. I'll go out there and catch a 5-pounder for you. All right, let's see what else we have. So Mark Brooks says, why aren't women promoted more in bass fishing? Yeah, and so that was something that I was interested in, in having some female anglers come on the show. So yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested in that, definitely drop some comments in the videos and let me know, and I can reach out to somebody. Or if you guys know some, let them just reach out to them and say, hey, how about you reach out to MoneyBass and see if he'll bring you up on the show? Because yeah, definitely I'll check out their resume and all that stuff and see if we can have a good conversation about their perspective of the fishing industry. All right, Barkin Ruger says, if you're slowing down enough to run the forward facing sonar, just use your side scan. I can scan 100 to both sides of the boat, and if I can see minnows and brim, I can see bass. So tune it up and beat it up. All right, shout out to LJ. What is going on? Make sure you guys come and check out the expo January 13th. Doors open at 10 o'clock. I will be broadcasting live from the expo. So we'll be interviewing some of the vendors, and some of them will have discounts on products for the expo. The last time I was there, some of them did have discount codes, things like that. And they do have shipping. So you guys saw those swim baits and things like that. And shout out to LJ, because we got the inside scoop that he has a new bait that is going to be released. So I might have to, get my hands on a few of those, see what they're doing out there. Yeah, I might have to make that happen. All right, so big shout out to LJ. He says, good stuff, Money and Jimbo. Gotta go. Time to shower this sexy body. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, LJ. All right, I will see you next weekend. All right, then we have Bass Slacker 21 says, if you have enough bow lift, just leave the trolling motor deployed. Yeah, I still get kind of nervous with that. Might hit something and crack that trolling motor in half, and man, that'll be a terrible day. Or forget that you have the thing down. I just don't know. It makes me nervous. All right, Barkin Ruger says you got to catch it on a bait caster while wearing the Waldo hoodie. Oh, you know what? I am just now getting the Waldo hoodie thing. I'll put a 10 spot on that. All right, so I have to catch a 5-pounder and I'll get 50. And then if I catch it on a bait caster, you'll throw in another 10. All right. Okay. I might have to make it. Man, why does it have to be a bait caster right now? All right. Mako Mill says, I'll add to it, Joe. Let's go. Man, what are you guys doing to me? You're tempting me. All right, Daniel says, MoneyBass, why do all of that on forward-facing sonar when all you do is put me in the okay, all I got to do is put you in the boat with me and we can make it happen. All right, good deal. Shout out to Stephen Walden. He says forward-facing sonar simply is another tool. Fish are already adapting to it. It just sucks for the co-anglers. It's like fishing as a code during the spawn. You have to cast around, but it gets tedious. Let me see. It gets tedious. The boat, okay. The boater is turning around all the time. Okay, yeah, he said the boat. So yeah, I mean, so the thing is, it's like that co-angler thing is gonna be a, you know, it's a tough job. You're like the spec ops, the special ops. You get tossed into any situation, you're supposed to be able to work your way out of it. I mean, what do you think? What do you think? All right, let's see. Come on, Barking Ruger says, I don't pay out for fairy winding. Come on, man. You know, I have about 8 of those rods on my deck, and then I have like 2 bait casters. All right, he says, son, I run 80-pound braid on my finesse rigs, not 80-pound braid. All right, so Joe Winkler says, what time are you going to be on the water, MoneyBass? Oh my goodness, y'all are trying to get me back out there on the lake. What is today? Today is Friday. Let me check and see what the weather's gonna be like tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna go out there tomorrow, guys. We'll see. And actually, so are you wanting me to do this on live, on the water live? Is that what you're wanting me to do? Go out there? Because I'm telling you, it'll be kind of boring. And if you want me to go out there and catch a 5-pounder, I'm gonna have to focus on what I'm doing. And when I'm doing a live stream, I'm always in the chat. You guys see I'm out there talking in the chat more than I'm actually fishing. All right, let me see. So tomorrow looks like a no-go. Ooh, the temps are dropping, but it's supposed to be raining tomorrow. So I don't feel like being cold and rained on. So I don't think it's going to work out tomorrow, but I'll let you know. You guys, I mean, everybody that subscribed to the channel, you do get the you do get the notifications whenever I go out there. All right, so we'll see. We'll see. David says fairy one equals money stick. There we go. There we go. I like that. The money stick. I like that. All right, Delta Bass is laughing. Yeah, Barking Rugers is always on me. He says, think I'm joking. PM me for pics. He has 80-pound braid on his spin rods. All right, let me see. Let's stick a jig in your hand and go to work. Oh yeah, I can make it happen with that jig on a spinning rod. I throw the micro ones on a spinning rod, but I do keep my jig on a bait caster. How about that? All right, he says, sounds like complaining. Oh yeah, I'm complaining. I don't want to be cold and rained on out there when I could be at home warm and you know, just working on some tackle in the lab. All right, Joe Winkler says, yes, live, and I'll come on with you and talk about my helm setup. Man, I just think that that's going to be so boring, because to target those 5-pounders like that, I may go out there first and do it and just see how it works, as far as if I was to be out there targeting those 5-pounders, because it's not like I'm going to be catching a bunch of those things and finding them. I'm going to have to find them first, but I can definitely do it. I'll probably go out there and do it first, target it, and just make it into a video. I'll do it that way first, because doing the live thing, anytime I'm live, guys, I'm gonna be in the chat. It's just hard for me not to do that. All right, Barkin Ruger says, that's what that rain suit is for, man. Where you at? A fair weather fisherman. Come on, you can't talk bad about me like that, because Mako Mills might be watching. I was making fun of him because he said it was too cold to go fishing. All right, Scott says money is a fair weather fisherman. Come on, guys. Barking Rugers, you see what you've done? You see what you've done? You can't be calling me a fair weather fisherman. Although I think I am turning into a fair weather fisherman, guys. All right, so let me see. Kevin Smith says, I'd like to know what people feel would work best in northern Indiana currently with 30-degree water temps. Man, I mean, to me, I like throwing a spy bait and like some type of real small finesse swim bait, like a Demiki rig or something like that when the water temps get low, and a jerk bait. So those would be my top 3 things. But you always got to keep a shaky head on deck. So that's what I would say. All right. So Stephen says, first time I heard Fairy One, I'm going to steal that line. Wow. Yeah, people been saying that a lot. All right. So Barking Ruger says, dude, you must have been that indoor. Ah, come on, man. Don't do me like that. No, I remember the days where it definitely was not cold. I was stationed out in the desert, man. It would be, I remember one year there were some guys that took off bike riding and they had on the little biker shorts and, you know, the sunglasses and the little tight looking shirts. So they went riding on their bikes, and it was probably like 90 something degrees. And out of nowhere, a snow blizzard came through and just covered everything. So we went out looking for these guys. They was looking for bodies. We weren't even looking. Well, actually, I was out, but I wasn't actually part of the people that were looking for them. But they were looking for the guys' bodies because they was like, yeah, they would not have lived through what just came through. But they found a cabin, some little hut looking thing out in the middle of nowhere. And they were able to go into that and actually made it through that snow blizzard. But yeah, so that was tough. So no, man, I was outside. I was out there freezing, running those radar systems. All right, so Barkin Ruger says some of us had to work in the rain. Oh yeah, I worked in the rain, snow, all that good stuff. But I don't necessarily have to do that now. So it's a little different. All right, so Daniel said, money, let's do it live. I got you, bro. I know where they let me see. I know where they're at, especially late February. So Daniel, are you on Lake Lanier? Let me know. Are you on Lake Lanier? All right. Shout out to Delta Bass. Is drag a football jig and bring those big girls in the boat. Nah. So to go out and target those 5-pounders, I'm gonna be out fishing a finesse. The techniques I just showed you. I'm gonna have to get something that goes down kind of deep and fish some type of finesse style bait. That's what I will be doing to target those 5-pound spots. Well, I guess you didn't necessarily say a spot, a largemouth, but yeah, to me, I think I have a better chance out here targeting the spots. All right, so 6 cents provoke. Let me look that up real quick. What is the 6 cents provoke? All right, so we're just having a little fun with it, guys, for anybody. Okay, all right, so that is a jerk bait by 6 cents. Yeah, might as well go ahead and support good old Milliken Fishing and get one of those 6 cents jerk baits. I was at Academy the other day, I think that's where I saw them at. So, hey, I might go and actually have a gift card sitting right over there. So I might head to Academy and pick up one of those. All right, let's see. Barkin Ruger says, here we go. Safety belt story time. All right, Daniel says, I'm at Ivy. All right, where's Ivy at? All right, Joe Winkler says, thinking you're a little blurry tonight. Yeah, I am. All right, let's see. Barkin Rugers. Oh no, at Joe Winkler, you got him all puzzled up. He'll be tying on that shaky head to settle his nerves soon. Oh, I keep the shaky head tied on. Actually, I have 2 of them tied on. All right, Joe Winkler says that bait is insane. Yeah, so I need one that dives kind of deep. I need a deep diver on that. Yeah, I need a deep diver on that jerk bait. All right, let me see. Can't trail the chat you put up. Let's see. I'm looking. All right, guys. We've been rolling. Let's see. What does Scott say? Money dreams of shaky heads and wacky worms. I throw the wacky worm every once in a while, but you guys know I'm going to keep a shaky head on deck at all times. That is a fun way for me to catch them. All right, guys. Look, we've been rolling for 2 hours and 17 minutes, and we have done 3 live streams. Who has watched all 3 live streams live? If you have, put 3 in the chat. I want to see who has watched all 3 live streams this week. We did a Tuesday, we did a Wednesday, and then we came right back around and did a Friday. Oh yeah, we got into it. Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, we have some dedicated viewers in here. Shout out to the Money Team. Barkin Ruger said he was in here. He hit me with the 3. Joe Winkler hit me with the 3. All right, let's see what else we have, guys. See, he gotta go tie on that shaky head now and calm them nerves. Oh, check this out. I have a shaky head tied on already. I never know when somebody's gonna, I keep my shaky head like a 6-gun. You know how them cowboys back in the day, they walked around with that 6-gun all the time. You never know when somebody was gonna challenge you, be like, hey man, you need to meet me at noon, or they may try to draw on you right then. I always keep that shaky head ready. Somebody, get a little froggy and say, hey, what's up, MoneyBass? And you know what I'm saying? I pull out that shaky head and be like, what you got, partner? What you got on it? What you got on it? All right, let's see. Barking Ruger says, come on, man. We support our friendly neighborhood MoneyBass. There you go. There you go. All right, shout out to Dexter Gardner hitting us from the Facebook side of things. Really appreciate the Facebook crew. I did get you guys on. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. All right, so Joe Winkler said 2 on Wednesday. Oh, I sure did. Wait a minute. I've done 4 live streams. Wow. Okay, yeah, 4 in 1 week. I've been rolling. Shout out to Doty Fish, and he says 3. He hit me with the 3. So yeah, so I've actually done 4, and some of you guys have been there for all 4. All right, Delta Bass says 2. I missed Wednesday. Had company for dinner. Uh-oh, Delta Bass. I mean, what's more important? Watching some fishing or that company that you had? I got you. I know. I'm just playing with you. All right, Barking Ruger says, I wouldn't beat on you if you weren't the the prettiest sister. Come on, man. All right, shout out to Mako Mills. Mako Mills hitting the 3 in the chat, but it's too cold to go fishing. But see, you got them. They in here messing with me too, man, because I said I'm not gonna go fishing in the rain. All right, Joe Winkler says as good about as no scope Randy. Come on, man. We're having a good time in here. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and roll out. Let's see what Bastocker says. Milk has a new kitty cat Puma. Oh, yeah. That boat is nice. That boat is real nice. How much do you guys think that boat costs? We'll close out with that. How much do you think that Bass Cat costs? What is the price? Anybody that has seen Ben Milliken's new boat, he got a STS Bass Cat. That thing is fully loaded, of course, because he does it for a living. All right, let's see what you guys say. Let's see what you're saying. Doty Fishing says that alarm deal works pretty good. All right, Barkin Ruger says 85K. Nah, partner, there's no way that thing is 85K, because they say those things start off butt naked at 80, I believe. All right, then let's see. David says 130. See, we're getting up there, guys. Good. Oh my goodness. 130K. That's ugly. It's hurting me, guys. I don't know. I couldn't do it. All right, Mako Mills says 120. All right, Mako Mills, I know he's been doing some research. Joe Winkler says, I don't think he really likes it. Uh-oh. Why don't you think he likes it? All right, Barkin Ruger says, you said boat. Oh, just a boat. No, I'm saying what he has, it's rigged up and everything. He has power pole. I mean, yeah, fully rigged. What do you think he put into it? All right, gotcha. So yeah, so you're probably about right. 85 is probably where it's at, just naked, just for the boat. That may be right. All right, let's see. Stephen Evans says 128. All right, so you guys are all around that same price range. All right, Barkin Ruger says, I don't buy jack with motor included. Uh-oh, okay. All right, Doty Fish says 80 grand without electronics. All right. And David says fully loaded Bass Cat at Palmetto is 130 for real. Oh my goodness. So you guys are right. You guys hit it right on the head around that 120 to 130 range. All right, Joe Winkler, he will have 150K before he gets on the water. Man. All right, 115K. Shout out to Todd. Bass, like I said, boat and trailer is 65. Go from there. No, I'm not on those Bass Cats. I think butt naked, they're sitting at about 85, like Barkin Ruger said. All right, Daniel says 160K total with everything. Man, has it come down to this? Has it come down to 160K to go catch some fishes? All right, let's see. Barkin Ruger, that Joe Winkler, he says because it ain't a gator tracks, he's still left wanting. Got to get that gator tracks. All right, Joe Winkler says, knowing Ben, the way he talked on his stream. Gotcha. All right. Barkin Ruger says a 250 will run you 30K in 2024. So then adds in electronics. There you go. So that's right. Okay. Joe Winkler says the STX. I thought it was the STS that he was saying, but it's the STX, starts at 76K bare. All right. Barking Ruger's 5K per graph and live. That's 15 on the front deck and 3,500 at the dash. All right. Mako Mill says he actually loves that new Bass Cat. It has the new Yamaha. It's an amazing rig, man. You guys should go look at it. Sweet. I don't even want to go look at it. That 120, 130. No, I don't even want to see it. I don't want to see it, man. All right. Dodie Fisher says he doesn't have room for 3 graphs on the bow. I think they're going to make it work. I did see him mention something about that. All right. Bass Slacker says had a price given on just boat and trailer. Oh, okay. All right. So it looks like you know what you're talking about. All right, guys. 2 hours and 24 minutes. We've been rolling. Remember when we used to do those 3, 4, and 6 hour live streams? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was rolling back in the day. But yeah, so nowadays, I try to keep it to, I try to do an hour, but it ends up being right at around 2 hours these days, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and roll out, but I will keep you posted for when I will be out doing the next On the Water Live. And, looks like the season is about to get started again. So I'll probably start doing the Battle of the Anglers again. I'm working on a little something that I think you guys will like too. So hopefully, I'll be revealing some things in the next month or two. And yeah, hopefully I have some things, some new things that I can show you guys coming up. All right, guys, really, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. And of course, I have to give a big shout out to Crush It. Who was it? Crush It Jail hit me with the $10 super sticker. He held on to it for a quick minute, but then Joe Winkler came in and said, no, I am the sponsor of the live stream. So really, really appreciate it, Joe Winkler. All right, guys, I am going to head on out. But like I said, stay tuned. I will let you know when I'll be out doing the next On the Water Live. If you're not a member of the channel, just consider joining the channel, guys. We have a great time with it. I do a lot of behind the scenes content. Just go to the channel and you'll see a lot of different content that's available for the members only section, guys. So really, really appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Appreciate everybody for tuning in and getting active in the chat. All right, guys, I will see you on the next live stream.